They still cruising. It's playoff. It's the playoff race. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. Got my man Cleavon up in the Northwest. What's the weather like up there, big dog?
Oh man, rainy and drizzly as always.
Oh well. Oh my goodness. There it is. There it is. You sound all excited. Per usual up in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Well, fans, thank you for tuning in to week 235 or excuse me, 285 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Each and every week we get our show started just like this.
Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging out with my man Cameron Buford right here.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course, I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. The fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
On your team, his ball number is it number 2 option or your number 3 option? On your team's team. 30 nights a year, he's my number 1 option. 30 nights.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about these upcoming?
Like I was saying before.
Well, every game's a new game, so each one's a different experience, different defense, different players, different game plan. So.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans
Oh my goodness!
continues to evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Real ones know what's going on, right?
Like you said, Pacific Northwest, so I think it's a big part of my game, and every time I step on the floor, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for all
Ken, nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
Look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do
Real surprised at that, Ken.
Hey, come here. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports.
Hey man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
There's my guy, Big Snoop Dogg. Big Snoop Dogg. What up, Snoop? What up, Snoop? And then we got Ice Cube. Ice Cube is in the news this week. We're gonna talk a little bit about Ice Cube and see if get your opinions on what Ice Cube, the little sales pitch he made today. I want to know what you think about it. But that's my dog Snoop. You gotta give Snoop some love, man. You gotta stop hating on Snoop.
I always give Snoop love. That it's not reciprocated on your end. It's not. You're not talking to me about it.
What do you mean? He's in my montage. What's up, Snoop?
You said he was not in your top 50 all time. Cut it out.
Wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. What's up, Snoop? We're gonna talk about some music. We got some rap beef going on too a little later on in the show, Cleveland. This is week 285 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. It is March 27th, 2024, Cleveland. No class today. No class this week. No homework this week. Oh my goodness. I got all this free time.
You just been kicking it, just living your life, huh?
Well, not really kicking it, but we got the Clippers playing defense. Oh, when you got hard with the block. Oh, that was Kawhi with they called a foul on that? It's a 1-point game. Clippers over Philly by 108-107. Oubre drive to the hole. Kawhi. Oh, that's Kawhi. That's look like a good block to me. Kawhi pins it against the rim. They're up 1 with like 7 seconds to go. So Oubre is going to the line for 2, it looks like. Fans, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the NBA. We're going to go heavy on the NBA when these playoff races is getting thick right now. It's getting thick right now with 5 seconds to go. Like I say, the Clippers, since the All-Star break, the Clippers are now 8-10, and they need this win against Philly. Look like Nick Nurse. I can't hear what's going on. Look like Nick Nurse is not happy right now. So did they just call a block or did they call a foul? Because it looked like a good block to me. Yeah, but the ball got pinned between the hoop and the backboard. So I don't really know. I can't hear what's going on, but I know it's a timeout, 5 seconds to go. Not sure who has the ball. So here we go again. Oubre takes the ball from the 3-point line, drives to the hoop. Kawhi's all over him, and Kawhi goes up and gets the block. It pins it to the hoop. That looks like a good block to me. Without no sound, that looks like a good block. Pins it between the ball gets wedged for a sec right between the hoop and the backboard. It's typically a jump ball in this situation, but I don't know if they called a foul. I'm not sure. Nick Nurse is reacting like he's not pleased. So it might be a jump ball. We'll see. Give me a sec, fan. We'll see what's going on. It looked like a good block to me. And it was a good block because they're at the center of the court with 5 seconds to go. It's a jump ball. Kawhi Leonard and Oubre about to tip it off here with 5 seconds to go. Again, the Clippers are up 1. They need this win because again, Kawhi won the tip. Oubre back to the line. Oh, and the game's over. He didn't get it off. He did not get the ball off. Kawhi won the tip, but the Sixers caught it and tipped it back to each other, and they drove to the hoop. Oubre had a clear lane to the basket, but did not get the shot off in time. And Nick Nurse is not happy. And Nick Nurse is not eject him for the next game. Go ahead and eject him for the next game. He is not happy. He got 3 coaches try to keep him off the refs. Nick Nurse is not happy because the Clippers are now 9-10. 9-10 since the All-Star break. Oh, that was in the Batum. I don't know why you didn't catch it, big dog. He tipped it backwards. The ball came right to him. He tipped it to one of his teammates instead of just catch the ball. Nick catch the ball, turn around and shoot a 3. But he tips it back. Oubre tried to drive. He had a clear lane to the basket, tried to drive, and he missed it. And the game is over. I'm sorry, fans. I just got caught up in the Clippers game right there. Because Clippers on the play, they're trying to hold on to their 6th seed right now. They done fell behind the Pelicans. They're trying to hold on to the 6th seed. So that was a critical game, especially after the coach called him soft, Cleveland. I don't know. Did you hear the coach called him soft the other night?
You just alerted me to that attention. Yeah, calling them soft. I mean, they are soft.
You go. You just jumping on the bandwagon. Anything negative about the Clippers, Cleveland's going to jump on it.
Well, I mean, he's played with Shaq and Kobe, so he knows the difference. So,
fans, again, we're going to go heavy in the NBA. NBA playoff races heating up. We got some NFL talk content, Cleveland. You had a chance. If I understand things correctly, you saw JJ McCarthy go up against Michael Penix Jr. Did you not? Didn't you see that matchup?
I did.
So I want to know what you from the cheap seats what you thought about McCarthy, and he's skyrocketing up the draft board. I want to know. We want to get your feedback on what you saw from McCarthy in that playoff run. We're going to talk about the NCAA tournament that's going to go on, and then I want you guys. Cleveland, and this is directly to you specifically. And all you Ohtani haters, I want you now, after we heard what the man had to say, can we just get off his back and can we just play ball? Can we just play ball and get off the man's back, Cleveland? That we're going to have that conversation. And he's cleared up he's answered all your questions. He had the press conference the other day, explained what was going on. And for you, perfect beans out there who ain't never lost $1 or $2. You act like the man, act like the man. Nothing wrong could happen in his life. Just get off the man's back. I got your back, Shohei. I'm with you. Fans, and then as always, we do our This Week in History. We got our This Week in History segment. We're going to end the show with a quote like we always do, Cleveland. But we start each and every show. How, Cleveland? What we started with?
With our numbers game, Cam.
March 27th, 285th Voice of the Fans podcast, Cleveland. So we're going to start it with the number 27. When you think of the number 27, Cleveland, who wore that jersey number the best, or who come to your mind first?
Well, who comes to mind first right now is Jamal Murray, because I think he's probably the most important player in the NBA at present. And who wore it the best? You know, I'm going to have to defer to Vladimir Guerrero, not necessarily because of the body of his work, but in addition, you know, he's spawned Vladimir.
Yeah, are you going junior or are you going senior or junior? Which one?
No, I'm going senior, because not only does he had his illustrious career, but now he's, the proud papa of Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s career, which is, starting to take off.
And I got to give a shout out to my guy down there in Anaheim with the red A on his cap, because this might be the only time we talk about him in the season when these numbers come up, because we haven't heard we don't talk about him. We don't get a chance to talk about him very often, and it's probably in another 3 weeks he's gonna have some kind of ligament tear or hangnail tear or something where he's gonna be out for another 3 weeks. So I got to give a shout out to Mike Trout and what he's doing down there all alone in Anaheim right now, because apparently the other guys just don't want to play. The other guys say it's my job. Did you hear the other guy say that? I think it was Rendon say it's my job.
Yeah, after signing like almost a $200 million contract. Wow, that's probably not. I think there's a buyer's remorse on that. I'm just saying,
I don't think I've heard any other athlete approach the season by saying, "Yeah, I'm here. It's my job. I just got to do my job." I don't think I've heard. You tell me. Have you heard any other athlete approach?
Not elite athletes, because that's it's not why they don't really do it because it's their job. They do it because they're driven to be the best that's ever been. Typically,
yeah. So Mike Trout, boy, I tell you, just off the record, or not off the record, but off the topic a little bit. Does Mike Trout finish the season with the Angels?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. With the number 85, Cleveland, who comes to your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best?
85 is the number we're on. Okay. Person that probably comes to mind first is Paul Johns. You probably haven't heard of him, but he was a very productive receiver with the Seahawks back in the day. Who wore
that productive?
I like Paul Johns, but who wore it the best? I'm gonna have to say Chad Ochocinco.
Oh, that's a good one, Ochocinco, huh? That's a good one. Jack Youngblood was the first person that came on my mind, but probably Antonio Gates is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame here pretty soon.
I feel that. That's a good pick too as well. It's a good pick.
Cleveland, as you know, man, as a gambler, we're gonna tap into your gambling brain this week, Cleveland. Self-proclaimed heavy bettor in the world of sports, Cleveland. So we're gonna touch into that gambling aspect. Did you know Michael Porter Jr. had a brother? Or excuse me, not had a brother. He got a big family. But did you know he had a brother in the NBA?
I know he had two brothers that were on the same Nathan Hale team as him when he was a senior. And when I watched them play, when they played Garfield his senior year, I honestly thought that Jonte had a better skill set for the NBA than Michael Porter Jr. did at the time.
Oh my goodness.
And then his younger brother was supposed to be like excuse me, culmination of like the two of them. So I was like eagerly, it was very much like a ball thing. Like Lonzo and
where they been? I didn't know that. I didn't know that he played with two brothers at Nathan Hale.
Yeah.
Where they been?
Well, so Jonte and Michael Porter Jr. both went to Missouri because their dad was the coach there.
Well, yeah, I'm saying where have they been since? I mean, Michael Porter Jr. has been in the league now for 4 or 5, 6 years now. Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean they've been trying to make their way, and it sounds like finally, Jonte got a 10-day contract and made it to the league.
Well, apparently he wasn't.
I believe he was drafted previously and kind of had a little bit of a run, but got kicked back down and it's kind of clawed his way back in.
Well, apparently the GMs in the NBA didn't feel the same way you felt because he didn't. He's still working on a 10-day contract, and apparently things weren't happening fast enough for him. So he called in his brother, his cousin, his uncle to make some under bets on him, Cleveland. And just tell me your thoughts on how this situation broke down.
Despicable, Cam. I mean, it's like it's the worst case scenario with regards to gambling and athletes because he's betting the under, and then he pulled himself from the game because he got poked in the eye or his eye was hurting, and then he pulled himself from the second game.
Sound like AD. That sound like something AD would do, but okay.
Okay, but AD wasn't betting on himself and under, and then the second game he just didn't feel good, like a stomach ache, and pulled himself from that game. And so you take the under across the board on both of those games. I believe it was to the tune of $1.2 million. It was like the biggest prop bet of the day across the board for DraftKings.
Twice.
Two times. Yeah.
So do we have to investigate Michael Porter Jr.? Like, do we have to check his phone and see what
I think Michael Porter Jr. is a little too busy trying to repeat as NBA champion, but I can't speak for him.
All you have to do is whether you're on the bus or the plane is get on your phone.
I mean, yeah, okay. Well, we'll get to this a little bit later when we get to the other topic. But yeah, if they want to know bad enough, they will find out. So right now, it's like it's just on Jonte, but if they want to dig a little bit deeper and find out, they will.
So I wrote an article. I posted an article on voiceofthefans.org about does sports have a betting problem? And an answer to that question, Cleveland, would be the way this system works is because they pinged. The only way we know about it is because it was the highest. What did you say? The most money put
highest on prop bet of the day, 2 days in a row.
Twice, not 2 days in a row, but
not 2 days in a row, but twice, both of the times that he was playing.
And so did the system work? Because that's how it got flagged. That's how there was an alert because they noticed that it was two pretty wild prop bets on a guy with a 10-day contract.
Yeah, I mean the system works for the entity that is play or the entity that is responsible for bet placing. Yeah, it worked for them. It didn't work for anyone else.
Well, I mean, not work for him, but it worked for the NBA. And they alerted the NBA that we have this issue that this dude may be up to something a little shady, and now he been forced to sit down. So in that sense, the only person who lost is this clown, right? Is this in this situation? This clown, because I don't know if they can revoke the bet. The bet said his cousin, his aunt, his probably girlfriend made. I don't know. I would guess they'd get paid. I mean, they made the bets legitimately, right? How are you going to prove that it was illegitimate bets? And so the only person that loses is this clown, right?
No, the NBA loses because they lose credibility because you have players that are like doing things predicated upon gambling. So if you know that, you're only supposed to, score 4.5 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists, and then you just leave the game because your eye hurts, and then you leave the next game because your stomach hurts, and it's, relatively the same. I mean, but $1.2 million bet on someone that has a 10-day contract, that's crazy.
That's ridiculous. But this is the NBA has been going on for 60-some years. This is the first time we heard of this. So it's. I don't want to say isolated incidents. Is not what I want to say.
Other gambling scandals, most notably Tim Donaghy, the referee.
What was his big scandal? Was against Sacramento Kings and what team?
So he had like a lifelong problem. It was years and years and years of him manipulating.
Okay, the most notable situation was Sacramento Kings against somebody in the playoff. What team was that?
Yeah, I don't remember all that. I'm just saying I'm looking at the totality of his officiating career, which landed him in jail ultimately.
Yeah, there was a playoff series though in the early 2000s. I mean, that really caught the attention of all the fans in the NBA. It was against the Sacramento Kings, and I can't remember the other team. Do you? You don't remember the other team?
I don't remember the other team.
Okay. I'll remind you. It's kind of odd that you don't remember Mr. Gambler and you don't remember what the situation with Tim Donaghy. It was your Los Angeles Lakers. And my oh my, how the story would have been written so differently had Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Michael Bibby, what's my
AJ Stojakovic, Judge Christie.
If they weren't cheated like they were by Tim
Pollard.
Yeah.
Bobby Jackson.
Oh yeah. My oh my. It's funny now. All of a sudden he forgot about it.
No, I remember the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, they were a formidable opponent.
Okay. Cleveland. Now I told you, I've been telling you all season long. I've been telling you fans, I'm telling you guys. I'm reminding you guys, if you don't know now, how I feel about who has the best record in NBA right now, Cleveland.
The Denver Nuggets.
No, Denver Nuggets.
I'm sorry. The Boston Celtics have the best record in the NBA.
That's right. The Boston Celtics have the best record in the NBA by a long shot. 57-15, Cleveland. 57-15. They have the best record by a long shot. Nobody even close. The next closest team, 15 losses. This is a hell of a season. The Jordan Bulls, they lost how many games? 79-10. Did I have that? 72. And what the Warriors, they went 9. They lost 9 games.
73-9.
Obviously, this is only 6 more losses the Celtics have. So this is a hell of a season that they're having, right? But I don't trust them. I do not trust these guys. I do not trust these guys. The Denver Nuggets is behind them, 51-21. And looky here, Cleveland. Don't look now. But those OKC Thunder, who you said for 3 months you didn't believe in, 50-21. Don't look now. But they right behind those Denver Nuggets. I told you, Cleveland. I've been telling you most of the season long. I do not trust these Boston Celtics. They lose. They were up by 30 against the Atlanta Hawks. Maybe it's something in Atlanta. I don't know. Because it was 2 years ago in the playoffs. Or was it 2 years ago? It was last year in the playoffs. Were they piddling around with the Atlanta Hawks who squeak out the play-in tournament and see them in the first round, and the Atlanta Hawks had no business playing with the Boston Celtics. And they win 2 games in that series. They just don't. Your favorite, the words you like to say is they like to play with their food. And here they go. They got caught again at the dinner table playing with their ham and eggs when the Atlanta Hawks came back from 30 down to beat them. Now, Drew Holiday and Derek White did not play. You won't give any love to Derek White, I'm sure. But Drew Holiday, you might give a little love to Derek Holiday or Drew Holiday. But neither one of those guys played, so that might have had something to do with it. 2 of their best ball handlers, 2 of the guys who do take pressure off of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But I do not trust in Boston Celtics, man. Sure, they got the best record in the NBA. Impressive. They're 6 games off the pace. 6 games that are over 82 season, over 82 game season. That's not a lot. That's not far off the pace. but I just do not trust them, man. They're the second team to blow a 25 second team in 25 years to blow a 30-point lead. Cleveland, I'm not impressed with those guys. Tell me where I'm wrong, Cleveland, because maybe I got blinders on and I just don't like some of the history I've seen from the guy. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Yeah, Cam, you got blinders on. I mean, you reassess when the Eastern Conference Finals rolls around, which they will be in, and then
Why do I have to wait to the finals? Well, why do I have to wait to the finals? I've been saying this all season long.
Because they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're going to be in the finals.
Yeah.
What you got on?
Oh man, you want some of your chow chow? You want to do your chump thing again? Oh man, please, tell me.
If the East wasn't so shabby,
we're back down. Stand down.
I can't count on Milwaukee. I can't count on Milwaukee. Miami Heat, man. That's really only two
I will have a
contenders.
plate so big if you acquiesce to what I am saying. The Boston Celtics will be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, man, I want to bet you so bad.
Yes or no?
I want to bet you so bad right now.
Well, do it then. Say that.
Oh man, let's see who they end up playing in the first round. Because I might want some.
That matters. That matters. Who they're playing in the first round.
I might want some of that action because I have no faith in the Boston Celtics at all.
I don't care if they're playing the Miami Heat in the first round. Okay.
Hey, we saw what happened to them last year.
Okay,
they messed around and lost 3 in a row.
And they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals this year.
Okay, who they playing?
Don't know.
Cleveland Adamas, Mr. Still Adamas.
Don't know. Can't say. It's too early. It's too early to tell. But I am 177%.
Are they going to the finals?
No. Well, I don't know. It depends.
I might look
in the Eastern Conference Finals. That I can't say.
Let's put something down on that.
I
got on them going to the finals.
Nah. Eastern Conference Finals, yes or no?
Yeah. Well, quickly that confidence isn't so high, is it now? That confidence level only goes so far.
Well, your confidence level is 0 right now.
What? They're not going to the finals.
That's only
4 more games. If you got them going to the
Eastern Conference Finals against someone? Probably Milwaukee, but I mean, are they going to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Milwaukee. I don't got no confidence in Milwaukee. We're gonna talk about them next. But so you say I got blinders on and I'm just pulling up old history, huh? I mean, they lied to me. That might be I'm a little emotional because they lied to me personally. Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum personally lied to me when I said, guys, why are you playing around? Why are you in this predicament to be playing the Atlanta Hawks? I flew LA to Boston. I haven't flown Atlanta to Boston. That has to be a 4 or 5 hour flight. That has to be a 4 or 5 hour flight. Has to be. If it's 2.5 hours from Atlanta to Virginia, Boston's another what? It has to be another hour and a half. That has to be a 4 to 5 hour flight. Guys, why the hell are you guys playing around with these Hawks to make yourself come back to Atlanta? Maybe it's the food. Maybe it's the food in Atlanta. Maybe it's some hot wings. I don't know. But they get stuck in Atlanta. They keep getting stuck in Atlanta, and I don't get it. Maybe it's just Atlanta. Maybe that's where, because it was in the playoffs last season. Now it just happened. The other night. Now, Cleveland, I figured it out myself. Maybe it's just Atlanta they keep getting stuck in, or maybe they like going to Atlanta. Which one do you think it is?
Well, Cam, Life and Times of a Sports Gambler and the 44 Essential Rules for Success says, beware of teams leaving a party town.
Cleveland, you keep referencing these. You keep referencing this book. Where can the fans find this book at?
Oh, Cam, Store.bookbaby.com or also on Amazon. Get the print right to you.
I think the link is also in Voice of the Fans, voiceofthefans.org as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think the link is there as well. So fans, check out this book that Cleveland continues to reference.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I just cleared it up. Yeah, I just after a little thinking, Cleveland, a little back and forth. I think I recognize why the Celtics keep coming back. It might be those hot wings. It might be those hot wings that they keep coming back to Atlanta for, and they just can't get right.
The Lou Williams hot wings can only get one place. I mean, it's only one place that serves them. So,
yeah, that's right. That's right. But back to those Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Those Bucks last night. Anthony Davis looking like Bill Russell out there playing with Austin Reeves, who's just, I guess now he got a second win this season. Now as we rounding into shape for playoffs, now he's back to what he was playing like last season before Cleveland said he played too much basketball this summer. I mean, the kid's 27 years old. I don't know how that assertion comes to fruition, but I mean, he had triple-double last night, some big-time three-pointers that he knocked down. Giannis goes to the line, misses with – they were, down 4. He goes to the line for 2, misses both free throws. I'm sorry, man. Giannis misses both free throws in crunch time. Giannis – MVP caliber player shooting 66%. Now it's even worse now, but he's shooting 66%. Like, come on, Giannis. That's Shaq-like numbers. Like Shaq like to say. Those are Shaq-like numbers. 66% from the free throw line. Come on, Giannis. We got to do better than that, big dog. But nonetheless, Adam, your boy AD plays his heart out and decides LeBron couldn't play last night. But then tonight he's catching alley-oop dunks again, like he hasn't missed a step. And then AD is out. Was that game? It was a good game. Double overtime. I don't know. How much of that game did you see?
Tad bit, a little bit of the end.
Did that game say more to you about the Lakers or the Bucks?
Oh, I said more about the Lakers. The fact that they were able to win a game against such a formidable opponent without their best player on the floor. Yeah, that speaks volumes.
Well, I thought AD is their best player.
Well, I mean, 6 on one hand, half dozen on the other. Depends on the day. I think most of the time it's probably LeBron, but AD should be rounding into form. I mean, he is, the future of the franchise, so to speak, until we get into free agency a little bit further. But for now, I mean, he's the future, but not the present necessarily.
So I think it was more about the Bucks. I think I
know you don't like to give the Lakers a lot of credit for things that they do. So,
I mean,
I'm not surprised that you think it's more about the Bucks and their futility as opposed to the Lakers being able to.
First of all, it went to double overtime, so let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away and act like the Lakers just blew them out the door. Okay.
No, they didn't. But the Bucks are like 35 games better than the Lakers right now in the standings, as far as I remember.
But when your lead guard goes 9 for 29, 3 for 14 from deep, like Damian Lillard, I'm talking about, who's accustomed. Like, clearly there's something up with Damian Lillard, whether it's the weather in Milwaukee, whether it's leaving Portland, the fresh air of the Northwest, whether it's not having his wife around, the breakup with the wife. Clearly there's something wrong with Damian, because he was in LA just a couple weeks ago, right? And we talked about, you and me both said, okay, he likes to shoot down the Lakers, right? We both talked about that just on March 8th. another game that they lost by 1 point. And in that game, he goes 4 for 12. 4 for 12, 25% from deep. When that's his shot. So there's something going on with Damian right now. And again, whether it's a green uni, whether it's playing with Giannis, we thought that would be an advantage for him. We know he don't play any defense. And that's one of the reasons that I can't figure out if the house on fire across the way, or am I looking at somebody's window? Just they got the fire blazing. Something's on fire, like about a block away. I can't figure it out. I see flames, flame for days, and it looks like it's too big to be like I'm looking into somebody's living room. Like I'm sorry, I see like big flames. I'm sorry.
Something is on fire far away. Okay.
I mean, I'm looking. I'm about 2 blocks away.
So apparently our show is about to be interrupted by fire.
We're again. I'm about 2 blocks. I'm looking about 2 blocks. It's about 2 blocks, and again, because it's 2 blocks away. Excuse me, fans. Because it's about 2 blocks away. That's how I know I'm not looking into somebody's living room, right? But
that's not unless you got X-ray vision. Yeah,
and my vision ain't that good. My vision is not that good. But funny story for the fans. I'm sorry, I just off topic, but I'm looking across the way, and it's about 2 blocks away. And I can see something just on fire. I can see a legit fire going down. But Cleveland, this is a funny story what my doctor told me. So I bought some contacts, and this is a long time ago now. It's this was 2016. Let's say it's 2016. And that feels like a long time ago. But I bought some contacts. Boom. Ordered the contacts, got them Monday night. I put them in on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I have the new contacts in my eyes. I go to see a customer, and this is funny story. This is a funny story. It was funny to me. I go to see a customer. I got brand new contacts in my eyes. Go see the customer, chatting it up with them, getting his name. And I mean, at that time as a salesperson, I meet so many people. I don't know your name unless you actually give me some cash. You give me a big check. I'm probably not gonna remember your name. I remember your face and I remember our conversation. But again, unless you're giving me a big check or some cash, I'm probably not gonna remember your name. But the customer, he gave me his business card. So we're chatting at the truck, and we're chatting up, and 10 minutes go by, and I can't remember this guy's name. But I have his business card in my hand. So I glance down at the business card, and I can't read the business card. Like it was a brown business card, had yellow writing, but I could not read. And it's arm distance, so it wasn't like I'm trying to read it out the side of a billboard or something. It's arm distance in my hand. I could not read. I could not make it out. So while just like I was talking to you and trying to look across the way and see, okay, somebody gets the fire. It didn't went out. It went out. Just like I'm having a conversation with them, and I could not read the business, so I'm start doing like this, moving it closer and trying to focus in. And it was kind of funny that I ignored the conversation, trying to see again. Boom, went straight to the eye doctor. Left that appointment, went straight to the eye doctor right there. I go, yo, doc. My doctor wasn't my particular doctor was not there. However, I go straight to the eye doctor, optometrist. Yo, I got these contacts 2 days ago, and I can't read the business card. Like, you guys gave me the wrong prescription. We need to redo this. I need to do another eye test or something something. We needed. These don't work. And they're the gas permeables. There's not the off the shelf the soft contacts. I can't do the soft contacts. I don't know. Those of you who wear soft contacts, kudos to you. I can't do soft contacts. It's too much to get them in, too much to get them out. The gas permeable pops in 30 seconds. And not even 30 seconds. But I'm like, yo, we need to redo this. And the doc says, I say, Doc, what's the deal? She said, Cameron, you're at the age where your eyesight's only getting worse. I'm like, oh my goodness. After 2 days, I blame you guys. I'm blaming you guys, but we had to get some new got a new prescription right there. But that was a weird experience. Just so my eyesight is not that good that I can look into somebody's living room and see from 2 blocks away what's going down. But yeah, that was a good fire smoldering over there. Look, it's not somebody got control of it. Nonetheless, back to what we were saying about these Bucks and LeBron, without LeBron. So are we saying that the Lakers are better? Did I say that you want to say it's all about the Lakers? I say it's more about the Bucks and how the Bucks aren't getting it done. I'm disappointed. As disappointed as I am in the Boston Celtics, it's hard to say with the Bucks being right behind the Boston Celtics, but I'm kind of disappointed in them too. I thought the Bucks would be much better. They're 46-26. 2 games ahead of the New York Knicks, who you also said you didn't believe in the New York Knicks. You did say that, Cleveland. I'm not gonna let you slide from that. You did say you didn't believe in the New York Knicks, who's number 3 in the East right now, 44-28, just 2 games behind the Bucks. I thought the Bucks would be better. I thought the Bucks would if they weren't better, I thought the Bucks would look better. I say that. They just, when I see them, they don't seem to mesh. You would expect Giannis and Dame to kind of have a better union. Now that Middleton is coming back, you would expect these guys to flow a little bit better. What's your thoughts on the Bucks? Do you agree with me or do you not agree with me? You want? I know you want to say it's all about the Lakers in that particular game, but I'm kind of disappointed in the Bucks because I just don't see the mesh point that I expected to see when you say we're going to get Dame Lillard, one of the best guards in the league, who Dame's in his 12th year, crazy. Again, match him up with Giannis Antetokounmpo. I thought we'd get something better out of this. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they've certainly underachieved to a certain extent with regards to the anticipation of what could be with that the pairing of that tandem. But yeah, I just come back again to coaching, man.
Everybody just want to take shots at Doc. I think everybody just want to take shots at Doc. That's their default. That's their default. When does the players get some blame? When did you watch you watch the game last night? You watched at least the 2 overtimes?
I mean, Cameron, they were more than fine until they decided to make a change at the head coaching position, and suddenly that was supposed to be the move that was supposed to put them over the top, and just hasn't worked out that way.
The players weren't happy with Griffin. It wasn't what they thought it would be.
They don't seem to be too happy with Doc Rivers either.
Well, we gotta get to the playoffs and see. So if you watch the game last night, you will see that Dame Lillard, instead of kind of shooting a step back jumper, he tried to go to the hoop and take it to AD on the final shot, on the game winning shot, and AD blocked that. Dame, where's your step back jumper? Where's your step back? How you try to do a floater over AD? Like, again, something ain't clicking right with Dame. Like, use your step back jumper. I can't blame Doc for that, man. These are professional players. Cleveland, what do you like to tell me about NBA players, about basketball? You got an article coming out. What's the article coming out, Cleveland? We're getting the playoffs in?
The NBA Championship Manifesto.
Is it coaching? Is coaching in there, Cleveland?
Coaching.
Does it say anything about coaching?
No.
And when I try to bring up coaching, every other time I try to bring up coaching, what do you tell me? It's not the coach. It's not the play. It's all about the players, especially in the NBA. Now you want to go to coaching. Where we at? Where are we at?
We are at a franchise that decided that they didn't want to retain their coach and try to plug and play with some Neanderthal Yeah, it
Yeah,
has.
he called him a Neanderthal. He called him. You said now you're saying the game is past Doc by?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said? The game is past Doc by?
That's what I just said. Yeah.
I mean, 2008 wasn't a long time ago. Yeah, I will agree there. 2008 was a long time ago. But Cleveland, you've told me for years. We've been doing this show for at least 10 years now. It's 2023. At least 10 years we've been doing this show, Cleveland. We're at 285 of this iteration of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We have 250 shows that are not on live prime time. And all I've heard from you is in the NBA is not about coaching. If you have that dude, you're gonna be okay. That's what you said. Now, again, just like I said, Milwaukee Bucks are supposed to have two of those guys that are that dude. Giannis has won an MVP. Giannis has won a Finals MVP. Giannis won a NBA championship. Dame in Portland, all those years in Portland, we thought he was that dude. Everybody suspected if you put him on the right team, he's going to be that guy. And now you want to go to coaching. And now Cleveland want to give me coaching. Ain't this something? Ain't this something, fans? You want to explain yourself? Oh, we're listening.
Yeah, team was rolling right along, had a magnificent record. Everything was going great, but they
weren't
tried,
going
they
great.
tried,
That's
tried
why
to
they made the change. Things weren't going great. Things were not
going great. They were the second best team in the East.
They're still the second best team in the East. They're still the second best team in the East.
Okay. Right. So things are going great, but they decided to tinker with the formula and try and plug Doc Rivers into the equation to be the difference. You see where that's gotten them to this point. When you make those type of coaching changes mid-season, it's like you go from Vlad to Ty Lue. They win a championship. You go from Stan Van Gundy to Pat, you got to come down from Mount Olympus and coach this team. Okay. They win a championship. You gonna get Doc Rivers, and they just, they reverted back. They're not as good as they were when Griffin was coaching the team.
I don't know if this Doc slander is acceptable. I don't know if this Doc
Why
slander
is it not acceptable? He was supposed to be the difference. Clearly, he's not the difference.
How do we go from that dude?
Mixed signals, they'll get it together. They'll get it right by playoff time, and they'll, probably ultimately match up against Boston in the finals, and we'll see what happens. But
how do we go? How do we go from the NBA is less about coaching? It's about having that dude, and they got two of them, and the one guy misses two free throws.
Well, Cam, there are exceptions. I mean, when all of a sudden you just try to put a different voice in there, mid-season. I mean, that's it's going to take some time.
You guys hear this guy twisting it up? He don't know what to say right now. He don't know what to say right now. He's getting roasted.
Well, I know I'm not going to put it on Giannis and Dame, who were doing just fine. But once Doc came along, it hasn't been the same.
So I thought that game with the Lakers was more about. AD had a great game. He played his career high minutes last night. Grandson of Jarrell was also. We know if he's right. I mean, I don't know if he needed extra massages, if he needed extra adrenaline shots. I don't know what he needed, but it looked like he's rounded back into shape. He got a second win. Maybe you just don't give him no Olympic time. He can't play Olympic moments or Team USA. He can't do any of that because that slows him down during the season. Maybe he needs a hyperbaric chamber like his boy got, LeBron. Maybe that's where he needs to go to LeBron and get that hyperbaric chamber.
Well, those are costly, so it's not like you just throw that out like just go get one of those because that's not like.
I mean, go to LeBron's crib. LeBron can't let his teammate use the hyperbaric chamber.
Come on, that's behind the the confines, man. Come on.
What else is behind the walls of the confine? What else is going on back there?
None of our business, man. But hey,
what else is going back there? I mean, we're going on 20 plus years now. There might be something else going on back there. If he can, if his teammates can't go back there, if his teammates can't go back there and get some of that juju, what else is back there that we don't need?
Why are you trying to bring up stuff, man?
I'm just asking a question. I'm trying to find out
lazy journalism. It's lazy journalism right there. You're trying to slander a man's name because there's a whole bunch of people at his house.
I'm trying to ask why he can't be a good teammate.
He doesn't want a whole bunch of people at his house.
See, why you getting so sensitive over there? Why you getting sensitive?
You act like your house is like it just has a revolving door. Like, hey, anybody can come in. Nah, man.
If you're my teammate, you're welcome.
15 people do not have this open access.
I say 15. I say the son of Jarrell. They need the ball handler. They need a shooting that he can play some defense.
Hey, look.
I said invite him over.
I'll give you the numbers of my dude.
This weekend.
I'll give you the numbers of my guy. But hey, man.
Oh, your guy.
You can't just come to my house.
What's your guy specialize in?
Yeah,
why is your guy different than my guy?
For rent somewhere? You know what I'm saying?
Now you got to go rent one. You're the man. You're LeBron. You can't have a teammate come over and use the facilities.
Hey, look, man, I need my personal time. Okay.
Oh,
I got kids.
Now I think you're trying to hide something. Oh, now you can blame it on the kids. Now you gonna blame it on the kids.
I got a family.
What you think he's in a 1,500 square foot building that Reeves is gonna walk through it?
I see my
there's no room for Reeves to sit down at LeBron's house.
Travel together, we eat meals together. No, you don't necessarily need to be coming to my house.
Now all of a sudden there's no room for teammates at LeBron's house. LeBron probably got 35,000 square feet.
It's not like all access like you're asking for.
Cleveland, you and me can walk through LeBron's house, and we probably the only way he know it is because we'd be on camera. That's the only thing. And we're gonna talk about somebody's cameras in these big estates that they have going on. So that's the only way they know it if we was walking through cameras and we walking through because it was on camera somewhere. You talking about you acting like Austin Reeves?
Give me a call. Let me see if I'm gonna be around. Make an appointment or something. But just anytime you want to come through, no, that's not a thing. Who told you that?
Listen to this crap, man. Listen to this crap. Now LeBron, I thought he was a leader.
Yes,
he's supposed to. The doors are supposed to be open all the time. If you're the leader of the squad,
who told you that? Leader of the squad means come to my house anytime you want. No.
Yeah, if you need to get in shape so I can win another one, so I can get closer. Come on, AD's supposed to have an open door policy over there. AD, Hachimura, grandson of Jarrell. I mean, come on. I'm surprised.
I mean, maybe the point guard has an open door policy just so you can come over and
Snitchy. I might have a problem with Snitchy. He might Snitchy. The wifey might have a problem with Snitchy.
Yeah.
I don't know which way she go. Maybe she wants him over there so she can find out what's going on the road trips. But other than that, she probably don't want Snitchy around. I don't know which way she go. I don't know Savannah like that. But I'm saying if it were me, yeah, Snitchy, you might have to sit there. I see you at the facility, dog. I'll see you at the facility. But come on, Hachimura, yeah. I need you guys to be in shape. I need you guys to be in your best shape. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's great. That doesn't necessarily mean come to my house anytime you feel like.
Well, yeah. So anyway, I put more of that game of the Bucks versus the Lakers. I put more on the Bucks. Lakers obviously good win. AD played his career high in minutes. Then he sits out tonight. Okay. Reeves did his thing. I put that on the Bucks. I don't know what's going on in the Bucks. So that's kind of wild. What are the Lakers doing right now? Let's check out and see what they're doing. Because I know they're playing. Oh, they beat Memphis today, 136 to 124. What will LeBron do?
Wow, you sound so disappointed.
I mean, they beat the Grizzlies.
I'm sorry they won that game, Cam. I guess a team you didn't think that they should be able to beat.
Hachimura, 32 points tonight. Hachimura, Russell, Snitchy at 23. Hachimura was on fire, huh?
Okay.
LeBron, 23, 14, and 12. 12 assists.
Triple-double. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So
his 20th season in the league.
The rest served him well. I mean, look, Hachimura probably been over to the crib to get something. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but 14, he was 11 for 14, 7 from 8 from deep. Hachimura going crazy. 10 rebounds. Yeah, we might need to do an investigation, find out what's going on behind those closed doors and why his teammates aren't welcome. That's what I might need to do an investigation on. Cleveland, the Suns lose to a couple nights ago. The Suns lose to a Wemby-less Spurs team. I mean, the Suns. They've been less impressive to me than the Bucks or the Celtics. You talking about underachievement, underwhelming. Like they've been very underwhelming. Right now, they're up though. They're up on Denver, 42-33. Where are they at? They're in Denver. KD going to the hoop. Oh, young boy. KD dishes into young boy. That has to be Eubanks. And for the dunk, 44-33. So they're up 11, 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mark Malone over there hot. Mike Malone hot over there.
First quarter.
Excuse me, first half. First half.
42 in the first quarter with 7 minutes left. That would be amazing.
So yeah, the Suns, I'm kind of disappointed in the Suns. Like that hasn't clicked. Are you gonna blame Frank Vogel, the guy who brought you a championship? You're gonna blame him on this one too? Why that one hasn't clicked?
He didn't bring a championship. He happened to be on the sideline when the championship.
So okay,
no,
so
I'm straight blaming Bradley Beal and his health issues.
Okay, all right. Let's get this straight. You say Frank Vogel just happened to be on the sideline, like he could be anybody. It could be you and me on the sideline, and they would have won a championship. But you want to blame Doc Rivers for the Bucks not looking right? I mean, come on. So now you're just picking and choosing
because the Milwaukee Bucks have not improved since Doc Rivers took over as the coach.
And what Frank Vogel leading them guys to the bubble championship, to the Mickey Mouse ring, but you saw significant.
Why is it a Mickey Mouse ring? Why do you keep saying that?
I'm just saying. I mean, they won the championship.
It's not a Mickey Mouse ring. It's a legitimate NBA championship. All the teams played. All the teams participated.
Everybody didn't play. There were teams that were left out of that tournament. Teams were left out of that.
What teams were left out?
I mean, they only took like 15 teams. They didn't take everybody. That was some of the.
They took the playoff teams, the teams that were playoff caliber, playoff worthy.
Again, they took it after taking a 3-month break. The teams who were in playoff contention got to go, but everybody didn't go.
Okay, Cam, I don't want to hear all that nonsense, man. Okay, they won the championship, and it's a legitimate championship. So you trying to, discredit,
I'm just calling it what it was. I'm just calling it what it was. Don't get mad at me for calling out reality. They won a championship in Mickey Mouse Land. Did they not? Did not win it in Mickey Mouse Land? You
make it seem less than legitimate when you throw Mickey Mouse Land at the end of winning a championship.
I'm just saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not win it?
At the time, the world was going through a pandemic, and so they had to enclose themselves in order to not get infected by other people, which they did effectively. And ultimately, the Los Angeles Lakers won the championship.
You guys hear this, man? This boy's sensitive tonight, boy. I tell you what, you start talking about these Lakers, this boy get real sensitive. He get real sensitive. Well, I think most fans will tell you that if you look in the history books, they won it in Mickey Mouse Land. There's there's probably a little Mickey Mouse hat on the championship. If you look in probasketballreference.com, there's probably a little Mickey Mouse hat in that 2020 championship. I mean, that's just what it is. Don't get mad at me. Clippers lose to the Pacers a couple nights ago, and Russell Westbrook makes a fantastic return. Just wasn't enough. They lacked energy without Russell. The team, as I mentioned earlier in the show, they were 8-10 since the All-Star break. The Clippers were. They've been missing Russell because they've been consistently inconsistent, is what the Clippers have been. So Russell come back tonight. They outlasted the Philadelphia 76ers, who came to LA not more than a week ago, I think it was, and put it on the Clippers. Tonight the Clippers bounce back, close game. What's your thoughts on the Clippers, man? Do you have faith in them? Get into like hold on. Well, what are they, number 5 right now? Because they lost their 4th spot. Do you have faith in them making a deep playoff run? Give me your thoughts on the Clippers. What you think about the Clippers, right quick?
Well, hey man, congratulations going to Philadelphia and beating a Sixers team without the MVP of the league on it, playing that game. That was great. They won by 2 points, you said. And then
a win is a win. A win is a win.
And then again, now they have their X factor, Russell Westbrook, back. Your question is how deep of a run they're going to make in the playoffs, and my answer will remain the same. They could potentially get to the second round. I guess it really depends on Zion Williamson and how he feels about it.
Wait! Hold up! Now you want to give Zion some credit? Now you want to act like Zion's a factor?
He hasn't been a distraction. He's been losing weight. He's been balling out. Hasn't had an injury to this point. Yeah.
Fans.
He proved me wrong, fans. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I said trade him. I said he was going to be a distraction. I said he was going to bring that franchise down, and none of that has happened this year. I can admit when I'm wrong, fans. I got no problems with that.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
What I will say, fans, is that 4-5 matchup, if it continues to be the Pelicans and the Clippers, someone is going to lose their job 16 hours after that series is over.
Willie Green's not going to lose his job, win or lose.
Oh, man.
Win or lose, Willie Green's not going to leave that job.
No, it's not win or lose. Lose, he might lose his job because they've underachieved.
He's not going to lose his job. And you brought this up.
I'm saying it right now. The loser, the coach of the team that loses that series will lose their job.
So let me correct you. Again, Willie Green will not lose his job. What if you rephrase that saying? Would you say 18 hours after that series is over, the losing team might have a different coach? Is a different way to phrase it. That I might accept. Because if I can see.
How is that different? How is that different from what I said?
Because you said somebody might lose their job, meaning that they would fire the loser.
The losing coach of that. The losing
Willie Green will not get fired.
Let me say this. Let me say this a different way because you want me to say it a different way. The coach that loses that series will not be employed by that NBA franchise 16 hours after that series is over.
Again, you're making it seem like the coach is going to get fired. The losing coach is going to get fired. The New Orleans Pelicans will not fire Willie Green. He's been on the job 3 years. There's been reasons why they haven't won. Again, to what you said earlier, Cleveland, you had no faith in Zion staying healthy all season long. You had no faith coming into the season. You had no faith in what Zion could do.
Okay, right, but
you're not the only one in the NBA with You're not the only one in the NBA with that thought process.
But he's
so for Zion. So he's a head coach of that team, and he's got the most out of Zion than anybody has gotten out of him. He will not lose his job.
So if you have Zion at his apex of his powers and you still don't win, well, you need to make a change.
Yeah, For the New Orleans Pelicans, you don't start with the head coach. For the Los Angeles Clippers, the coach may walk out the door. He's not going to get fired. The coach may walk out.
Okay.
There's a world where that could happen.
It sounds like you're a little too close to the situation and perhaps a little bit to have a little bit too much sentimental value going on.
I'm telling you right now, the coach may walk out the door. There's a world where Ty Lue may say enough's enough.
Okay.
I've been here long enough. We've seen it all. Enough is enough.
Well,
there's a world where that
like it would be his choice. Most people don't just leave $10 million and just walk out.
Steve Ballmer, even if he was to say, I'm done, you don't think Steve Ballmer?
Yeah, most people don't walk away from $10 million a year.
Again, he's not going to get fired. I promise you that. There is a world where he might say enough is enough. But even if he picked up the phone and said, I've had enough of this, I need a break, you don't think your boy Ballmer is going to throw with the deepest pockets? He don't have the deepest pockets. He's one of the guys with deep. The pockets are so deep that he'll throw another. He'll make it enticing for him to stay. But there is a world where he will.
So you're talking about the 10th richest man on planet Earth? Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
He has enough.
His pockets weren't that deep.
I'm sorry.
So you made it seem like his pockets weren't that deep. That was kind of weird. I didn't understand where you were going.
I mean, there's a few guys on. I don't know if that guy in Phoenix. That guy in Phoenix, Ishbia. He's willing to throw around a few dollars himself. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that guy. He's willing to throw around a few.
Okay,
dollars.
That's cool. But back to the original conversation. The loser of that series will not have a job. Now, if you say it's because Ty Lue just gets tired and don't want to do it anymore, don't want to make his $10 million anymore, fine. If you want to say because Green got the most out of Zion and it wasn't his fault.
He's not getting fired. What did you expect from the Pelicans this season? You're not firing him. You're not firing him. He's got the most of Zion. Then
he will fire him if he loses in the first round.
No, you won't. When have you seen a better Zion? You haven't seen a better Zion in your life.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. This is the best version of Zion you've ever seen.
He's the one who got the best out of Zion.
You still can't get him past the first round.
You're ignoring.
You have to make a move. You have to make a change.
No,
this is the best version of him that you've ever seen.
With the roster. CJ might not be there. CJ might not be there.
Man,
anyway,
so the coach won't be there.
You're not watching, so we'll leave that. Again, the Thunder. Speaking of those Pelicans, the Thunder blew a 20-point lead to the Pelicans, and then came back and beat those same Pelicans. I asked you. Let's go through that right now, because I asked you before the All-Star break. Let's look at it. Did you believe in Minnesota Timberwolves? What did you tell me? Yeah, they're number 2 in the Western Conference, 50-22. I asked you months ago, before the All-Star break, do you believe in the OKC Thunder? What did you tell me? They're number 3. Well, they're tied for second because they're 50-22. They're tied for second, 1 game behind Denver. Is this are either one of these teams the Sacramento Kings from last season?
I think both of those teams are potentially the Sacramento Kings from last season, have a really great regular season, and then in the playoffs get exposed.
What gets exposed from either one of these teams? Let's talk about that real quick. You said one of those teams are potentially Minnesota Timberwolves. You always talk about if they have that dude, right? Minnesota Timberwolves, do they have that dude?
No, they have a really, really good player up and coming. He's on the cusp of greatness, but no, he's not that dude.
Ooh. Is that you taking shots at?
Absolutely not. You know how I feel about Ant-Man. He is ferocious and is coming at you on every play, but he's not that dude.
Okay. OKC Thunder. You talking about SGA? Is SGA is an MVP conversation? Is he not that dude?
He's not that dude yet.
Whoa. No, he's not. Who's better than SGA in the league right now? Right now, today, who's better than SGA? Is Anthony Edwards better than SGA?
You know, Cam, those are interesting conversations to have after the playoffs when you're kind of projecting.
Why not? Why not before the playoffs?
Because I don't think that either one of those teams will have playoff success. Maybe they get past the first round. I don't think either one of those teams will get past the second round.
Okay, so what's playoff success? If they win around in the playoffs, that's not success to you?
No, not really.
No, for a young team, for OKC Thunder, who's playing with a bunch of guys who's the average.
Well, you just asked me if they had a player on their team that was that dude.
Yeah, I just asked you if SGA. You don't want to say
that dude. They would get past the second round.
Who is better, Anthony Edwards or SGA right now today?
I'd rather have Ant-Man.
But you're saying Ant-Man is not that dude.
Not yet.
But you rather have come on. SGA is in the MVP category. SGA Anthony Edwards has better dunks. That's the only thing he does better than SGA. SGA is averaging 30, Cleveland. In the Western Conference. He plays in the NBA in today's NBA. The same teams. In the MVP conversation. Come on, Cleveland. You're wrong on that one. You're wrong on that one. And I'd like for you to answer who's better than SGA right now. Would you say Nikola Jokic is better than SGA?
Well, of course.
Is Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum give you any one of those or either one of those guys better than SGA right now today? Is Giannis Antetokounmpo better than SGA right now today?
I'm taking Giannis, yeah.
Man, you guys hear this man discounting. You just been discounting again all season long. You said they wouldn't be here. you laughed at me when I asked you who you have faith in, and here we are, weeks away from the playoffs, and they have They have the third best record in the NBA, competing with the Denver Nuggets. Come on, Cleveland. Come on, Cleveland. You got to recognize what these guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
They actually play in the same league as the Denver Nuggets. I'm not sure if you recognize that. They actually play in the same conference as those guys. So they're playing the same talent. You got to give some respect. They got 50 wins, Cleveland. There's only 4 teams with 50 wins in the NBA. They're one of them. SGA and Anthony Edwards. I would go SGA. SGA, again, he's in the MVP conversation. You mentioned that Anthony Edwards is not that dude yet, is what you're telling me. So they go out. So it's going to be 2 against 7. So they're going to end up playing the Lakers, probably, who's going to win their second tournament of the year. They're going to win their second tournament of the year. I mean, I know as a Laker fan, you'll be happy about that. They're going to win the play-in tournament. They're going to win the play-in tournament to get to number 7. Whoever comes in second, who's going to come in second? Is Golden State, Sacramento, Phoenix? Who's going to come in second in that play-in tournament?
Cam, it's very hard to tell. And right now, Golden State needs to just worry about holding off Houston. Your Rockets are set.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I was wondering if anybody's going to give me some credit, because I told you the Rockets before the season started, just on talent alone. I was a little aggressive. I said just on talent alone, they're going to be in the 6th seed. Well, fans, I have you know, they are measly 6 games away from being in that 6th seed. They are measly 6 games away. The Warriors won today. I mean, that in Dallas had the number 8 seed. Houston Rockets at the number 14 seed, or excuse me, Dallas is number 6 at 8 games back. Excuse me, the Rockets are 14 games back. So there's a little difference there. They're not going to make up 6 games, and what we have like 6 games to go, 6 or 7, 10 games to go in the season. In front of them, though, are the Golden State Warriors, who are 13 games back, the Lakers at 10.5 games back, Phoenix at 9, Sacramento at 9. So I ask you again, the Lakers have a chance to win their second tournament. They won the in-season tournament, right? That little phony baloney preseason tournament. They have their second chance of winning the tournament. This might be a record. Who else has won 2 tournaments in a season? Congratulations if they do this, congratulations to the Lakers. Let's give them a round of applause. They're going to win the in-season tournament, that phony baloney made up tournament, and now they're going to win the play-in tournament. So kudos to do you guys put a banner up for that? You got to put a banner up for that in-season tournament. Do you put a banner up for the play-in tournament? Because this is what you guys typically are in this tournament. I mean, as long as it's been, the Lakers have won more play-in tournaments than anybody. Now that I think about it, who has won more play-in tournaments than the Lakers since they've been playing the play-in tournament? Help me out, Cleveland. Who has won more play-in tournaments than the Lakers?
I think a different question would be who's won more NBA championships than any other franchise in the history of basketball.
You're changing the question. That's not my question. I asked you who has won more in season. Who has won more playing tournaments than the Los Angeles Lakers?
I have not kept track of that statistic. So excuse me, I'm not knowing the answer to that.
I think it's your voice. We got fans. I have to do some journalism. I have to do some reporting back to you guys next week on who has more play-in tournament victories than the Los Angeles Lakers, because they seem to own the play-in tournament. They've been in the last 3 years. They seem to own that tournament. But I asked you, so we're going to give it to them. We're going to give them the play-in tournament this year too, okay, Cleveland? And I ask you again, Cleveland. Who's going to come in second place? Is it going to be Sacramento? Is it going to be Phoenix? Is it going to be Golden State?
Very difficult to say because those seedings have not been paired up and matched to this point. So I can't handicap that right just yet.
Well, 9 will play 10 and 8 will play 7, right?
No, we don't know where all the spinning plates are going to land. So until they do, I can't really make an assessment.
Oh, now my man's now he's mad at me, fans. Now he's mad at me and he's just ducking all my questions. Now he's mad, fans. You see how it happens. I didn't hit a nerve and he don't want to answer my question. It's all good. It's all good. I'll change the topic. That's what you want me to do. I'll change the topic. How about that? Cleveland. So we started a segment last week or a couple weeks now. Confident or concerned, Cleveland? I was going to ask you, are you confident when the Celtics win in the East? But you're ready to put something down on it. You ready to put something? Well, no, you didn't say they were going to the championship. You didn't want to put down the championship. You said they were going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. Are you confident in the Bucks making that Eastern Conference Finals and that being the Eastern Conference Finals matchup? The Bucks and the Celtics. Are you confident in that?
Pretty confident in that right now, Cam. We have to obviously see what Joel Embiid brings to the table, but as of right now, yeah.
Joel Embiid ain't gonna do nothing, man. They're way down in the AFC. They lost again tonight. Joel Embiid, he's not gonna. He can't. You can't really think he's gonna have an impact in the playoffs. These guys are, as you know, they have your regular season, right? Then you have your post All-Star season, and teams now are ramping up for the playoff. Joel hasn't played since when? The All-Star game? Before the All-Star game?
Before that, yeah.
And so 2 months, these guys are playing damn near playoff pace right now. You think he's gonna come back and off the bench and make a difference? I like Joel. I like Joel. This isn't a shoulder. This isn't a wrist. Russell coming back from a broken hand where he can still kind of work out, right? He can still run at least. He can still run and kind of keep in shape. Joel had a knee meniscus. He's been sitting on the couch. I'm not sure what they eat over in Nigeria, what kind of snacks they eat, but he's been snacking. he ain't been able to work out. What do you think? Do you think he's gonna come back and have an impact?
I think he will have an impact. How much of an impact it remains to be seen. But yeah, I think if a healthy Joel Embiid gets him out of the first round,
healthy, but he's not gonna be healthy, Cleveland. He's not gonna be healthy. Sure, I agree with you. A healthy Joel Embiid is gonna be dangerous.
To answer your question differently, perhaps in the way that you're asking for the answer. Well, then, yeah, I believe it will be Boston and Milwaukee fighting for the Eastern Conference Final.
Because you don't believe in New York. You don't know. There's no confidence in New York, no confidence in Cleveland. And I asked you again months ago, do you have confidence in Orlando?
No.
You told you was real quick on that months ago. But here they are in the 5th seed, Cleveland. They're in the 5th seed, 15 games back. Cleveland 13.5 games back, who's ahead of them in the 4th seed. Indiana is 17 games back, who's in the 6th seed. Like, they're there in the 15th seed. If they just continue their pace, they're there at the 5th seed. Excuse me. They're going to be in the playoffs. Them in Cleveland. Ugly matchup, but they'll be in the playoffs. Miami, I mean, do we expect Miami? We expect Miami just to turn around and be a playoff team, right? We're going to see playoff Jimmy. That would be the anticipation.
I think playoff Jimmy is tired, man.
Playoff Jimmy, that's over with.
I mean, not necessarily. He's tired, man. It's hard carrying those guys like all the time, like.
But he hasn't played half the season though. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see how many games he played. He hasn't played half the season because he's playoff Jimmy. Why is he gonna play? And they just want to be, you know how they do. Spoelstra just want to get his team ready.
I think they've gotten by the last couple times.
He played 50 games this year. He's only played 50 games this year.
I think they've gotten by the last couple times, but yeah, I think that their run kind of comes to an end. They just don't have enough talent over there.
But Cleveland, if you don't believe in New York Knicks, who's number 3, you don't believe in the Cleveland Cavaliers, who's number 4, you don't believe in the Orlando Magic, who's number 5. Do you believe in the Indiana Pacers, who's at number 6? Who's going to stop them? If you don't believe in half the Eastern Conference, who's in their way? Like unfortunately, I have to give the Miami Heat the nod just because of what they did in the past. They played for the playoffs, and they're going to be that. They're going to be.
It's going to come down to the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think the New York Knicks can make some noise. I think they're gonna surprise somebody. I don't believe Orlando's ready.
Who are they going to surprise? Because again, when I talk about the playoffs, I talk about the second round. I don't really necessarily talk about the first round too much.
But you got to win the first round to get to the second round.
I'm sorry?
You got to win the first round to get to the second round.
Okay.
So I mean, you don't want to acknowledge what's going on in the first round, but you got to win that first round to get to the round 2. So you answer all my questions, man. In regards to the NBA, you don't have no con. Let's look back, Cleveland, and this is kind of a recap. When we started the season, I asked you the top storylines going into the season. This is kind of a recap. Bucks and Celtics race for number one. That's just what you mentioned right now. The Suns' development. What are we seeing? We talked about them being underwhelming. Excuse me. The Clippers' health. Well, surprisingly, the Clippers has been healthy. Paul George has played in the most games he's played in 4 seasons, I think. Kawhi's played the most games he played in 3 seasons. But they don't have the production. They've been healthy, but oddly enough, they don't have the production that we would have anticipated. Had we started the season saying they're going to be healthy, they're going to be playing on all these games, I think we'd probably put them in the second or third. I mean, they're not far from it. They are 6 games back. That's 6 games back. 6 is a big number tonight. They're only 6 games out of first place, but we'd expect him to be a little bit more consistent, right? Would you say?
I would say so.
And we haven't seen that. Can Denver defend their title? And it looks like they're on that. It looks like they're on that pace, right? Trailblazers growth. Come on, that we're talking about. The Warriors and Chris Paul. How would that mix? What would that mix look like? Chris Paul was out for a big part of the season, right? So we didn't get to see it. Draymond got ejected tonight, so I don't know what the exact number is and how many games Chris Paul has played with Draymond, but it's not a lot. It hasn't been a lot of games. I'd say that number's under 20, just off the top of my head. So it hasn't been. The most concerning thing about the Warriors, I think, is not only are they reeling and they're at number 10 seed, but I think a lot of that impact is Klay Thompson hasn't been what we might have thought Klay Thompson would have been, right? I think that's probably more so of what's going on with the Warriors. And that's a big reason. Chris Paul not being there to help out Klay and Draymond being out, kind of messing up their rotation. It's kind of had an adverse impact for the Warriors. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And again, I remember saying early in the year, a locker room with Draymond Green and Chris Paul walking around all the time is unpleasant. And it's not going to.
But they haven't had that. I mean, they haven't had that situation.
They're still walking around the locker room. It's just Chris Paul hasn't been that healthy, and Draymond is somewhat bipolar. I believe is what we're starting to find out. Right? Is that you just never know what Draymond you're going to get on any given day, and that's a problem when you're running an NBA franchise. So, I am pleasantly surprised to see Jonathan Kuminga is starting to finally click for him, because that was kind of one of the things that they were kind of hanging their hat on for the future. Was at one time it was going to be Wiseman, Kuminga, and Poole were going to be the next generation, and Wiseman and Poole are gone.
I think they made a mistake by getting rid of Wiseman.
How so? He's nowhere, so no mistake there.
I disagree. He's a big body that they kind of need.
Why?
I mean, you're right. He hasn't. It's not like
he hasn't done anything anywhere else.
I mean, you're right. He went to Detroit and it didn't pan out in Detroit.
And the worst team in the league and can't get any minutes there. So yeah, no, not a mistake there. And then Andrew Wiggins, he's got a lot of personal issues off the court.
Yeah, a lot of things going wrong. We talked about LeBron and AD's health is what we talked about. They've been healthy for the most part. And I mean, LeBron doesn't impact winning like he once did. And AD, he'll have his what he had 30 and 20 last night, or 25 and 20 last night, and then he doesn't play tonight. So he's still up and down, but he's played. He's only missed 5 games. Tonight would have been 5 games that he missed this season, so that's a good number. So he's been healthy for the most part, but he's still kind of up and down. We were looking at Big Vic's debut. He's been very impressive, right? He's been very impressive this season. Although I kind of I think you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, you want to give him the Defensive Player of the Year award. He's a Rookie of the Year hands down. But you want to give him the Defensive Player of the Year award, Cleveland. But I don't know that he's been I mean, they'll win under 20 games. In my opinion, you can't win under 20 games and be the defensive player of the year. Although I did see a highlight. That was kind of amusing. I forget who it was. The team got a fast break. I forget who the player was, but the team got a fast break, and it was only Victor Wembanyama like at the 3-point line, and dude drove down there, and Vic kind of went under the backboard, under the basket, and dude, he drove to the hoop, and then he said, "Oh nope," and pulled it back out, right? But he passed it to the dude driving to the hoop. And dude driving to the hoop saw Vic there, and he brought it back out. It was like, oh, they saw Spider-Man right there. It was like, no, we're not getting posterized by this guy. So that play right there, I forget who the player was, but that was like, okay, they know. The players on the league know, don't take it in on that guy. That if you ran that clip, you'd be like, okay, I can see why people have him as defensive player of the year. Because players driving to the back, NBA players driving to the hoop said no. Two of them on the same play. Two of them was like, no, we're not gonna try this. We'll try for a different shot. That was kind of like, I forget who that player, who they were playing against, but that was kind of interesting. Again, fans, just kind of recapping some of the topics that we wanted to talk about at the beginning of the season. One of the topics I brought up was Houston's growth, Houston and OKC's growth. I didn't expect OKC to be number 2 in the Western Conference, and I thought Houston had talent, man. If they could just reel in that talent, they would be pretty solid. But I didn't expect them to be out of the play-in tournament. I kind of expect them to be better than that. But we see OKC is doing their thing. Will we get a full season from Zion? That's one of the questions, Cleveland. We had Zion. Zion is doing his thing. I tell you, I went to go see Zion a couple weeks ago. Point Zion is something else. He's playing tremendous basketball. And there's Brandon Ingram. Who is he? What is he? CJ McCollum.
He's exactly what he is. He'll get you 23 and 8 every game.
He doesn't do it every game. He doesn't do it every game.
He's not averaging 23 and 8.
Well, he might be averaging.
I'm not even looking at the stats.
He's not doing that every
promise
game.
you was close to that.
Again, but he's not doing that every game. That might be his overall.
Averaging that, then he's doing that every game.
No. He'll give you 30. He'll give you 35, and then come back with 17.
You're making me look it up.
No, I'll look it up. But I'm saying that might be his average. But he's not giving you that every game.
Why are you
saying? What you say? He's 25 and 5 because it's not a consistent. That's not. Again,
that's not indicative of what he's actually doing. He's actually not doing 25 and 5.
Cleveland, that could be your average. That doesn't mean that's what you're doing every night. That's what you're rounding it up. So he can have a good game and then he have a bad game. He can have a good game and then he have a bad game.
So after 70 games, it averages out. He does that almost all the time. That's what an average is.
I'm trying to pull out his game log. Well, Cleveland, yes, that's what his average is. Yes. So 19, just what is this? 10, 25. No, that's how the season started. Let me go down here. See what we are here. 14, 11, 22, 13, 27, 17, 12, and 30. And this is just in the month of March. He had March 1. Again, this is not what he does every night. 14 points, 11 points, 22, 13, 27, 17, 12, and 34. This is just the month of March. That's the numbers he had. So March 1, he had 34. Then he had 12 points. Then he had 17 points. Then he had 7 points. Then 20 points. Then 13 points. Then 22. Then 11 and 14. Again, you don't get 20 points every night from him. It's an average, yes. But you see how erratic that is? You see how erratic that is? That's what I'm saying. His consistency is not there. Yes, that's his average. He's averaging 20 points. But I just gave you just the month of March. 34, 12, 17, 7, 20, 13, 22, 11, and 14. Yes, he averages, it rounds out to 20 points a game. But again, is that consistent right there? That's not consistent. That's my point. So it's not every night. Yes, obviously that's his average, but it's not every night. That's my point. So there's more to it than Zion. Like CJ. I mean, if we look at CJ's numbers, I expected more from CJ with Ingram and Zion.
Had tremendous health issues, man. Very serious health issues.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But I'm just saying I expected more. That's all. That's the only reason I'm saying, and that's why that coach won't get fired if they lose in the first round.
Oh man, you still coach hugging out here, huh?
I'm making my point. I just gave you the inconsistency of one of the other guys on the team.
The loser of that series will not be coaching the team the following season.
We'll hold you to that. James Harden and the Sixers. How did that play out? And we know how that played out. Grizzlies, laughing stock now. And Damian Lillard. I mean, those are some of the things that we were talking about at the beginning of the season. I think at this point we're looking at like what's going to happen to Dame. I don't have it down exactly, but what's going to happen to Dame? I think this is before he got traded, because it would have said how him and Giannis. I know we would have had how that him and Giannis, how that relationship developed. But I'm not ready to blame the coach, and I'm surprised, Cleavon, as much as you bang on coaching overall, that you're going to turn around and blame coaching when talking about the production from the Bucks. So that's laughable to me. That's laughable.
You have to blame the coach when you make a change mid-season and they regress.
But Cleavon, they weren't happy with the coach that they had. There was issues, there were rumblings before they got brought Doc in.
Well, they were much more productive with him at the helm than with Doc at the helm.
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about that. Fans, let's take a little quick break. Let's take a hot break, Cleavon, and we come back and we got to get into our NBA or NFL topics, and then we got to talk Shohei. We got to talk Shohei before the night's over. We got to talk Shohei. We got to talk Ice Cube. Let's take a little quick break, Cleavon, and we come back and finish the show.
Let's do it.
Yo, what's good, fans? What's good, fans? Where you guys at? How are you enjoying the show? Are you at work? Are you guys working out? You guys watching some basketball with the sound down in your game room? How are you guys watching the show? How are you guys listening to the show? Hit us up in the chat. Hit me up in the chat, or hit me up on Twitter @_voice of the fans on Twitter @_voice of the fans on Twitter. How are you guys enjoying the show? Please let me know. I'd like to know. Also, when you do that, let me know where you're watching the show at. I'd appreciate that, just to know where our fans are in the world. Thank you guys for tuning in once again to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We appreciate y'all. And what questions do you have for us? You got any questions? Hit us up in the chat. Talked a lot of basketball. We're gonna get into some NFL right now, but what questions do you have for us? What would you guys like us to talk about? We're gonna get into the whole Shohei thing. I'm gonna let you guys know where I stand on the Shohei saga. So that's gonna be a conversation for sure. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, though. What do you guys want to hear? What's on your mind? What NFL topics do you guys want to get into? I got a list of stuff. Always got a list of stuff. But what NFL topics you want to hear? Cleveland's not going to hear what I got to hear. What I got to hear. You see, Cleveland's been kind of salty all night, right? I talked about his Lakers winning the most in-season tournaments than anybody else. He's not too happy with me right now. Cleveland, I told you, Cleveland, you didn't want to listen to me. I told you this before. Something that he needs to be concerned about. Your guy from your Husky, McDuffie. Kansas City don't like to pay the cornerbacks. I mean, they're finding these guys from wherever they're finding them, but they don't like to pay them. Hence, they traded Snead to the Titans. I don't know what the Titans think. Well, I don't know what the Titans might be a couple years too late on spending all this free agent money and bringing in these quality players, because they let go of Derrick Henry. They're running with the rookie. Now they want to bring in Snead. Now they paid the receiver. CJ Ridley. Why didn't they just pay AJ Brown when they had him? Well, just pay that guy. You know what I'm saying? Let's pay that guy who's already one of the baddest receivers in the game. You know what I'm saying? But a couple years they end up trading to Philly. They go to the Super Bowl. Now they dick around and they brought in Nunu. Why can't I think of his name? They brought in Nunu though. Who's the guy from Arizona? Why am I having a brain fart? Number 10.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. Nickname is Nunu, but they brought him in. Why not just pay AJ Brown? Like, you ran him out of town. Why not just pay that kid? Or did he get run out of town because he wanted to get away from Tannehill? I'm not sure what you.
Well, I mean, $25 million a year is kind of a high price to pay, and at the time, they were not convinced he was the number one receiver.
But you give Hopkins the 15 mil, and then now you go ahead and give that same money to CJ Ridley. Is CJ really DeAndre Hopkins? Or is CJ really AJ Brown?
No.
I like CJ. Really. I really thought he was. I'm surprised he left Jacksonville to come play with this quarterback in his second year. I can't think he possibly thinks he's better than
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm surprised he made that move. I understand you want to get paid, but you got to play with somebody. The receiver, I would suspect, needs to play with somebody that can get you the ball, right? Because you need some help, and what you say, Cleveland? He can't. Debo, he can't throw himself the ball, right? He needs to play with somebody else who can get him the ball, help him look good. So I'm so very surprised that he left Trevor Lawrence to go play with the second-year quarterback. But you didn't answer my question. Is CJ really AJ Brown? Is that an equal match right there?
No, that's not an equal comp at all.
Yeah, I don't know what Tennessee's doing, but they get Ladarius Snead from Kansas City Chiefs. Make Kansas City got to give them credit. They keep coming up with these cornerbacks. They drafted Snead in the 4th round. They got McDuffie. What round did McDuffie go? 3rd round, 2nd or 3rd round, right? Mm-hmm. People knew he was a good corner. I wonder if they're gonna pay him though. Did they pay him? He's not on his contract, right? That was his second year. He's won a Super Bowl 2 years back in the first 2 years in the league.
Back to back, homie.
Did he pull a Sam Cassell? He won a Super Bowl his first 2 years in the NFL. Yeah, that cat's living high right now, right? You can't really tell him much right now, right?
You can walk around UW campus like a G. Yeah,
you can't really tell him much right now. I mean, that's balling. You come in the league, and it's not like he was the second string punter. You know what I'm saying? He's out there
down balls in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's out there doing things. So congratulations to him.
Yeah,
congratulations to him. But Kansas City, you got to give them confidence. You got to have confidence in them to go get another 4th round cornerback or 5th round cornerback, wherever it is. They got to give him confidence that they'll put him out there and he can play. Give Spags some credit. Cleveland, hot topic of the week. one of the hot topics of the week. Did you hear what Deion Sanders had to say about his?
I did.
Last week, Deion Sanders told us that he's not leaving Colorado to go do some recruiting, which I thought was wild. And understand he's gonna pick up the phone and bring guys in from the transfer portal. In football, I think it's a little. Is it? I ask you this question. I think it's easier to do in football. Not as easy to do in basketball. To just bring guys in from the transfer portal and expect your team to be well. Because in football, you got the whole offseason. So if you bring them in early enough, if they're there at training camp, it's easier to integrate that player into your scheme, and then they play the full season with whether it's a receiver, whether it's a lineman, whether it's a running back, quarterback, whatever position. I think it's easier if you have them just quote unquote they start the training camp with you. I think that's an easier transition for a player to come from another team and a football team to play on your football team versus a basketball team. What's your thoughts real quick?
Basketball 100%.
Basketball's easier?
There's just fewer players, and what you're trying to integrate into the program is it has a much more significant impact without a lot of other players having to contribute to that impact.
I don't know. Basketball is definitely easier mid-season to bring somebody in to integrate in because you just got to get a feel for their play. I think if you start with a guy at the beginning
they don't do that in college. You can't.
I know. I understand that. I'm just saying in basketball, I think if you got a guy, if they made a trade forever, if they made a trade
in the pros, sure.
Yeah, if they made a trade in the pros, it's easier to integrate that player onto a basketball team than an NFL team, unless it's the running back. If it's a running back, because you're just giving him the ball, there's only a couple plays he needs to run. But if it's a receiver, he has to get some time in with his cornerback or quarterback. If it's a cornerback, he has to know what the rest of the defense is doing. Maybe a safety, maybe a linebacker because it's see-ball, hit ball. Maybe one of those positions. But for the most part, if you make a trade in the pros, it's easier to integrate that NBA player onto an NBA team versus an NFL team, in my opinion. But if you're starting off and you go to the transfer portal, if you had this kid at the beginning of the season, I think it's just kind of like because you start a new season in college, especially in college football, you start a new season with new players every year, right? It's a new team. It's never the same team. So I think the transfer portal will work. However, that wasn't the topic. Deion said him and Shedeur is going to pull Eli Manning, meaning, and he mentioned 4 teams that he would want him to go play for: Dallas, San Francisco, Atlanta, and the Commanders. So, hypothetically, the Seahawks have a position to draft him, or in position to draft him. He's going to say he's going to turn his back on the Seahawks. Where's he going? That's my question. Where's he going? Is he not going back? Can he go back to college? Is he junior this year? Thought he'd be a senior this year.
I'm not quite sure how many years.
He was a junior last year. I thought he was a junior last year.
Sure has.
Because he could have came out this year. So he could have came back. He could have came out this year.
He could have come out this year because it was his 3rd year playing football. But I'm not.
So he's at least a junior.
Did he redshirt one of those years? I don't remember.
Okay, so.
But to answer your question, Deion is speaking from experience because we all remember when Deion was, a top 5.
I mean, that was
potential pick.
I think that was.
He said that if the Detroit Lions drafted him, that they would have to put him on layaway. He would ask.
That was hype.
So, if he thinks that he is a power broker in the NFL at the level of the Mannings, I don't think that he's a power broker in the NFL at the level of the Mannings.
Thank you.
And in addition, the aforementioned teams all have quarterbacks that none of those teams are going to sign Shedeur. So,
well, the Commanders, if he was in the draft, the Commanders drafted him. I mean, that might be an option.
Yeah, but they're going to pick a quarterback at 2.
Right.
So, and they're not going to draft Shador after picking a quarterback at 2 the year before. So, none of those teams have an opening for that. So, when you want to start putting your son in just the most favorable position for you and your family, that's not how high draft picks work. You go to the teams that need the pick the most. I mean, it's worst to to best. That's the way the draft works. So yeah.
What's up, you're all good, man. You're all good, man. Thanks for coming on the show, Boots, because Cleveland is upset. He's been whining and crying all night, man. He missing somebody to be on his side tonight.
Not really. But the other part of that is he doesn't want him to go to a cold weather team. Well, it's like, okay, well, after it gets to be after November, I mean, what are we talking about? If you don't play in California or Florida or Texas or Nevada or Arizona, I mean, that's
another problem. I think another problem was this is he's announced what his plan is a year and ahead of time. The NBA is the NFL. Are these owners going to go for this? Are these owners going for him, telling them a year ahead of time? Yo, my guy's only playing on these teams. Now, maybe Jerry goes.
Well,
Jerry
I think they're looking at it at a very in a very comical perspective because none of those teams are even an option. Yeah. So, you're already 0 for 4. You're not going to the 49ers. You're not going to.
Oh, why isn't he going to the 49ers? Why isn't he going to the 49ers?
Because that's a team that went to the Super Bowl last year, and they have confidence in the quarterback that they currently have.
Oh, do you have any confidence in that quarterback that they already have?
I'm not speaking, from personal experience. I'm talking about the 49er organization. So he's not going to the 49ers.
My question was, do you have any confidence like the 49ers do in the quarterback they already have?
Okay, I don't think that the quarterback that they currently have is going to get to the Super Bowl next year, but that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is,
they're not
going to draft Shador Sanders, and they're not, and none of those teams are going to have a pick high enough to do that, anyways, right?
I agree. I agree with you.
They're all potential. They're all potential, except for the Commanders. But again, we're under the assumption that they're going to draft a quarterback this year, so he's not in the fold.
I mean, I was going to save this question for later, but one of my confidence or concern questions: what are you concerned that the Cowboys will be going a different direction next season with Dak? They're going to pay Dak $55 million this year. He's not under contract. They won't be able to tag him next year. Are you concerned that this is Dak's final year with the Cowboys?
I'm not a Cowboy fan in that respect, so I'm not concerned. From that perspective.
Okay, but that might be a potential opening. That might be a potential opening. I mean, and
but again, you have to have the pick, Cameron. They're not going to be bad enough to draft in the top 5.
I don't know. You expect the Cowboys to be?
I expect the Cowboys to be in the playoffs next year. You don't.
They lost one of their linemen. They don't have as of today. They don't have a running back. They don't have a running back. Right. I mean, they got it.
So
I don't know.
I'll ask the question a different way. Do you expect the Cowboys to be in the playoffs next year?
That's iffy. We got to see what they do.
You're not sure. Okay, so more chump. Okay,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, Belly's getting swelled up on this show, fans. I got the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I got the Dallas Cowboys making the playoffs. Okay, cool.
See, Boots said they need to start over. So do they start over with Shador? That might be a potential landing spot for Shador. But you're right. They're not going to be top 5 bad. They're not going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the NFL, whether they make the playoff or not. I do agree with you there. So they're not going to be in the top 5. And I mean, so consider, let's just say they're 7, just for hypothetically. They have the 7th seed or the 7 draft pick, number 7 draft pick next year. I mean, does Jerry make some moves to move up to get him in the top 3, top 2 to get Shador? I mean, I don't see that. Jerry don't make big moves like that. Yeah, I mean that's kind of have to be the only situation. That'd be interesting. I just don't think I think Deion saying this a year in advance is kind of not really throwing.
Sounds a
But
lot like LeVar Ball. I don't like it,
right,
man.
yeah. I think it's I think because he's now you're challenging these owners who don't like to be told what to do, and
Billionaires don't like to be told what to do.
they're just out of spite. They'd be like, yeah, we're not playing that game. Just out of spite. At least when Eli and Archie, first of all, it's obviously different complexion for the situation. But then it was a kind of a leading up to the draft. We advise that you don't pick him. You trade out of that. It was like at least it led up to, that conversation didn't start a year in advance. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't like it either. Are you interested in seeing the Patriots Apple documentary? It's a 10-part documentary on Apple, kind of besmirching Bill Belichick. I gotta see the hit job that they put on my guy. I gotta watch it to see the hit job that they put on Bill Belichick. I gotta check it out. Cleveland, which one of these receivers get paid first? CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, or Brandon Ayuk?
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. What is Minnesota doing? Are they going to trade Justin Jefferson?
They don't know. They don't have a quarterback at present, so
Minnesota,
again, like you were saying earlier,
goofball.
you can't throw the ball to yourself. So,
are you confident the Dolphins re-sign Tua Tagovailoa before the season starts?
Yes.
Oh wow, you say that quick. I mean, that's what you would do. Are you confident that what's taking so long? Because we know you'd have signed them the day.
Well, when you make contracts for $250 million, there's a lot of nuances that go into it, Cam.
Oh,
and
here we go.
They're just trying to work out the particulars.
Boots, don't do it. That's what I say. Don't do it. I mean,
they're doing it. It's gonna be a done deal. It's just how it's structured.
Tua wants to get it done before the season starts. I understand, Ross. You want to see. I need more evidence, Ross. I'm with you.
No. He's seen all the evidence that he's gonna see.
No. I need.
You see the productivity when you keep him upright. You see what he's capable of doing in that offense.
I see what he did in crunch time. I seen what he did in crunch moments. I saw that. I saw when the playoff was on the line. I saw what he did then.
What they're going through right now, Cam, is the guaranteed money because it's at $250 million.
That guaranteed money he gets guaranteed. He got about $10 guarantee.
It's going to be $250 million.
It's about a $10 guarantee,
and it's between 160 and 180 on the guarantee side.
No, yeah, Ross, I'm with you, Ross. Hold tight, Ross. Yeah, hold tight, Ross. Thank you, Boots. Hold tight, Ross. That's what I'm saying. Let's see it one more year.
No.
Let's see one more year.
Let's get no more auditions. You get no more auditions.
You need another audition because of what you put on the show. What we saw on tape before, that wasn't a good look. That wasn't a good look.
They got to the playoffs.
And what happened? You could have had a home playoff game. You could have had a home playoff game if you played.
It was cold out. They didn't form
well, again, you could have had a playoff game at home, and what happened? You stunk that one up.
Okay, well, Cam, that's inconsequential to the $250 million that's coming to Tua Tagovailoa.
Well, that's why the $250 million is still in question. How about that?
It's not in question. The only thing that's in question is the guaranteed money on it. That's what they're working out.
Are you confident Ezekiel Elliott is on a football team next season?
It's a hard question. I think he makes a football team. Yeah.
I think he makes a football team. All right, fans. You see how this guy's been ducking and dodging me all night. Doesn't want to ask my questions about who has the most wins in the play-in tournament. Yeah, Boots. Let me ask you this, Boots. Who has the most wins in the NBA play-in tournament in NBA history? Who has the most wins, Boots? Answer that question for us real quick. Cleveland don't want to answer that question. And let's see if he ducks this question too. 87-73. Phoenix is up over the Denver Nuggets. 10.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Are you confident in Geno Smith bouncing back next season?
No.
Ding, 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 ding. You got it right, Boots. That's what I've been trying to figure it out. Cleveland didn't want to answer the question. He act like he don't know. He said the history too extensive to recognize. It is the Lakers have the most play-in tournament victories because they're going to win two tournaments this year, Boots. I don't know if you know it or not. The Lakers win the in-season tournament, that phony baloney in-season tournament at the beginning of the year. They won that crap. And then they're going to win the play-in tournament this season. So that gives the Lakers have more play-in tournament victories than any team in NBA history, Boots. I don't know if you knew that or not. Have you ever considered that one? Cleveland didn't want to answer that question, Boots. Well, thank you. Appreciate your participation, bro. Which new head coach are you most confident in this season? Dan Quinn, Mike McDonald, Raheem Morris, Gerard Mayo, or Jim Harbaugh? John Harbaugh. Excuse me. No, it's Jim.
Raheem Morris.
Because do they have the best quarterback out of the group?
Nope. Out of that group, it would be Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, it would be Herbert. Why Rob Morris?
I just think he has more talent overall, and a little bit more. He'll have a little bit more of an impact on the team's identity. I think it's going to take Harbaugh at least a season to kind of get those guys to acquiesce to kind of his way of doing things. And they've been, stripping their team of their most talented players, and you like to in football it's much more important, but leaders. There's no Keenan Allen, there's no Eckler, there's no Mike Williams. It's a little thin. It's a little bare in the cupboard.
Yeah, the cupboard's bare. Like Herbert don't have anybody to throw to right now. Well, he got Palmer. He's quietly a pretty good player, but I don't know if he's ready for the limelight. I don't know if it is confident or concerned. Will Malik Neighbors be better than now? You already said if this kid's name was John Thompson and not Marvin Harrison, nobody would be talking about him.
That's not what I said. You
did say that. You said that you said that months ago.
I did not say that.
You didn't say that?
No.
Will Malik Neighbors be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No.
He will not be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. So he's bigger, faster. He doesn't catch any less.
Marvin.
You said if his name was John Thompson or Michael Smith
has been trained by Marvin Harrison Sr. Man. No, I mean,
but he's not the same receiver as Marvin Harrison.
Obviously, he's not the same receiver.
Yeah,
and although they share the same DNA, does not mean that they have the same capabilities. But no, I don't see that.
Does he run better routes than Marvin Harrison?
No.
Is he faster than Marvin Harrison?
I think he's a little bit faster.
You think he's faster? He's bigger. Obviously, he's bigger. But I mean, size at the receiver spot. I mean, as long as if you get open, if you know how to run your routes, like Senior could run his routes exquisitely. And
again, let us not forget you can't throw the ball to yourself, right? And who's throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison?
I mean, yeah, Peyton.
Okay. Makes you look way better. I mean, I'm not saying that like he wasn't good, but like it's not like Trent Dilfer or Baker Mayfield throwing the ball to you all the time. It's Peyton Manning.
He said Trent Dilfer. Trent, did you like Trent in Seattle? Trent had a decent season.
Trent was killing it up here before he got hurt. Straight up. It looked amazing.
Who goes first? Neighbors or Harrison?
Harrison.
Harrison goes first?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he entered the league with the Peyton and Edrin. Yeah, I got you. We got you. We talked about that. Let's get into these rule changes.
You know what I don't like, Cam, is that you keep leaving out my guy, man.
Who's that?
Never mind.
Roma Dunze?
Roma Dunze, man. You didn't really watch him play, did you?
I watched those last 4 games of the season very closely, just only because I want to get on your nerves. And all the talk was about Penix. We watched Penix lose the Heisman, and I didn't see speed from him. I saw size.
It's cool, but then he went to the combine and ran a 4.47.
I didn't see that on the field. I didn't see that on the field. And so
which is why he went to the combine and ran a 4.47.
Okay, fair, good job. He needed to do that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not really high on him. I didn't see any breakaway speed. So are you going to be just a Michael Irvin type player? I didn't see that Michael Irvin element from him at what you call it. Who was the other guy? Who was the other receiver
for the Huskies?
Yeah,
they had McMillan and Jalen Polk.
Polk is coming back?
No,
but Polk is not even in the conversation for them. There's been a lot of talk about it. Dunze. I didn't see the speed on the field. I didn't see. So if you don't have speed on the field, and this is why what I'm so surprised that Drake London is able to play. Like I expected him. I watched him play at USC, and I expected him to be a tight end in the league. I'm surprised. I'm blown away that he's able to play wide receiver in the NFL. I don't know how long that lasts, but I'm blown away they even lined him up at receiver. Like he was running 4.6, 4.7, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I didn't see any breakaway. I didn't see any special talent. He's tall. He can go up and get the ball. He was a basketball player. Okay, so he can go up and get the ball. I'll give him that. I didn't see special out of Dunze. I personally didn't see it, but I didn't watch him for 2 years. How long did he play up there? Was it 2 years or just the 1 year? I didn't
started 2 years. Yeah,
I didn't see special out of him. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I didn't see special. Again, I didn't see speed on the field, and in the game, like, I mean, again, you need the quarterback to make you look good. And while I'm looking at the quarterback made good throws when everything was perfect. When he had 7 seconds to make a throw, he threw to wide open receivers. Is it going to be like that in the pros? No. So I didn't see special. So I could be wrong. I didn't see special. But he's going to be the top 3. You don't have him going over Neighbors or Harrison, do you?
No, I don't think Neighbors should go in front of Rome, but I think that if he
don't have Neighbors is going ahead of Rome. And so we're going to get to this.
Then Chicago should be delighted then
that he's going to fall to Chicago.
Yeah,
there was Tannenbaum who just some of these guys who were GMs who were legitimate GMs. Tannenbaum had Neighbors going to the Giants, I think, and then Harrison going to the Bears at 9. Like,
whoa, no,
yeah.
Marv's supposed to go to the Cardinals at 4.
Again, I'm telling you, he had them drafting a quarterback.
At number 4.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see, that's why he's not working anymore.
Right. Exactly. That's kind of my point. But I'm just saying that's the one I remember him. I remember that. Whatever you want to call it. What is it? Projection. But yeah, I just didn't see special. Because I didn't see plays where he's catching the ball and breaking away from guys. I didn't see him catching the ball and running away from anybody. Like, I don't have that vision in my head. He was catching wide open passes. And again, if things weren't perfect, the quarterback wasn't getting the ball. So it wasn't like the quarterback is going to him on 3rd and 10 and he's catching the ball at 8 yards and breaking tackles. I didn't see that. But yeah, I only watched him really closely for those last 4 games. So correct me if I'm wrong. But Malik Neighbors is skyrocketing up the draft board after running the 4.3 today at his combine. Yeah, his not it was a pro day for Daniels. It was LSU pro day. So yeah, after running the 4.3, he's blowing up the draft board. Like, I want to ask you about JJ Daniels or JJ McCarthy. Excuse me. You got to see JJ McCarthy up close. Now, I know you've been high on Caleb Williams all season long. I want you to rank these quarterbacks. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. Drake May reminds me of the other guy, Trubisky. Was it Trubisky who was the other North Carolina quarterback?
Yeah.
Trubisky, Bo Nix, and your guy Michael Penix. JJ McCarthy. Some people talking about JJ McCarthy might be in the top 10. You saw him up close. Rank the quarterbacks. Caleb, if you want to put Caleb Williams and don't even talk about him, that's fine. Jaden Daniels, Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix Jr. Go.
Caleb number 1. After that, I think all of the other quarterbacks are somewhat suspect. I probably wouldn't take any of them in the first round if it was me. If I needed a quarterback to change the fortunes of my franchise.
So you're the Commanders, the Cardinals.
Cardinals have a quarterback. Or you saying that?
Well, okay. Okay, you think he's a second baseman, but okay.
I do, but they
Giants, don't. The Giants. So that's 3 teams right there.
Giants have Daniel Jones. Are they going to draft a quarterback?
Yeah, come on.
Are they? So they're already going to move on.
Cut it.
Okay.
So where do you go? Who do you have? You saw JJ McCarthy. He's skyrocketing.
The way that I think the draft is going to go is just like you said it, man. It's Caleb and then Drake and then Jaden Daniels from LSU and then Drake May and then JJ McCarthy and then Michael Penix and then Bo Nix.
So Bo Nix might end up with I heard your boy in Denver's looking at him.
Oh boy, I would love for Sean Payton.
I would
love that
because they'll be terrible again. They'll be up and drafting another quarterback in 2 years.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it's not that Sean Payton's not an offensive mastermind like that. No.
So JJ McCarthy, do you like him? What's all the hype around JJ?
I don't understand where it's coming from. I mean, he is the quarterback of a run first offense, run second offense, run third offense. It's like, I mean, how many games has he even thrown the ball more than 20 times?
So, but does that say like did that speak game manager where he knows how to manage the game already? Did I say game
That
manager?
speaks to someone whose ceiling is a game manager at the college level. We have no idea what he can do in the pros.
But I'm saying in the pros, if he managed the game in college,
I can't imagine him managing a game in the pros the same way he managed a game in college because they were so much more dominant than their opponents running the ball.
Cleveland, what's the best friend of a quarterback?
Strong running game.
So if you have a strong running game, if you know the guy's limitations, you have a strong running game, and you have a good defense, why couldn't he run the ball and only throw the ball? Like, he only needs to complete a few passes a game. Like, if he throws the ball 20 times a game, he needs to complete like.
It's a little bit different in the pros because Michigan had no balance. They had no run pass balance.
Well, who was their receiver though? Who was their receiver? Again, nobody really to think of, right? That's my point. So if he can manage the game in college with a strong running game and a strong defense, I mean, I'm just kind of telling you what I'm thinking and kind of what I'm hearing. But if he was able to do that in college at a championship level, he doesn't need to make the big play. He's not your guy in Buffalo who needs to go, who's itching to throw it 70 yards down the field, every down. So if he can consistently make that underneath throw, deep and dink and dunk the ball down the field, why wouldn't offensive coordinator like that? And I'm not saying he's going to be good. I'm trying to understand what the hype is.
Because he's proven to be able to do that in college.
Right. Behind a strong running game and a good defense. That's what you need. That's a winning formula. So if you have a guy who's comfortable in that situation, why wouldn't you go with that? That's kind of, I think I'm answering my own question. That's the hype around him. I don't know. I haven't seen enough because he hasn't had to throw the ball 20 times a game. What do we know he can do on crucial moments? I don't know. Jaden Daniels, you say Williams, Daniels, May, McCarthy, and then Penix, and then in Nix. Okay, that's fair enough. One thing I remember Parcells saying that he wanted his quarterback to have 45 games before he drafted him, 45 games before he drafts the guy. Bo Nix has that. And I don't know if that makes you.
Sorry, when did Bill Parcells say that? 1980 what?
It was a few seasons ago.
Okay. Yeah. It's asking a lot in modern football terms.
But you want to talk about what how these philosophies last. I mean,
yeah, but Bo Nix sucks. We all know that Bo Nix sucks.
Well, it's kind of like in college football versus college basketball, the guy sticks around for 6 years. He's not going to be good in the pros, right? In college basketball. In college football, that guy stick around for 6 years. He has the maturity, some suspect.
Bo Nix sucks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he sucks.
Jaden Daniels, do you think we need to get Tyler back on the horn? Tyler wasn't a fan of Jaden Daniels. He called me out. He said, "What did he do at Arizona State?" And I don't remember that he played for Arizona State, to be honest with you. so that told you what I saw from him at Arizona State. But at at LSU, with some quality players on the field, he looked decent, right?
What I saw was big numbers against some very subpar teams, is what I saw.
I mean, he beat Alabama though. I know Alabama is not.
Here's what I'm going to say about the quarterback class, and I'll say this again. Caleb is the only one to hang your hat on.
Okay.
Penix, if he can stay healthy and be in the right system, perhaps. I don't have confidence in any of those other quarterbacks.
Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. What's your concern? Are you concerned about the competition committee ruining the game with these rule changes? Now the hip drop tackle is now becomes a 15-yard penalty. You like that move?
No, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to try and legislate that into the game a little bit more often, but I think their initial idea is that by outlawing it, that players won't do that, but there's no alternative to tackling someone. So I think players are just going to continue to do it, and they're just going to get penalized for it.
Yeah, it's going to be 15-yarders. Do you like the kickoff, the new kickoff, the change in the kickoff rules? Now that
they're indifferent about it. They're trying to make the kickoff too much of a thing. So,
because it's. I mean, this is kind of like, in a sense, kind of like juicing the baseball. Like, they want the big play, right? They want the baseball. They wanted the home run, right? And this is kind of manufacturing some big plays, but I don't know that this makes it easier for the big plays to happen. And at the same time, they're trying to lessen, like, they call it safety precautions to kind of lessen those contacts with guys coming. I mean, that is, I don't know if you've ever done that, but running down the field on a kickoff where one guy gets a 30-yard run toward you, and then the guy blocking, he's backing up, and he has to block the guy who has the 30-yard run sprint towards him. Like, I've been on both sides of that, and that's not really fun on either one of them. It was more fun on the kickoff team because now you're chasing the ball carrier. But as a blocker, that's not a fun position when the guy got a 30-yard run and you got to hit this guy. Like, that's not a fun position. So I understand the rule changes, but I mean, football is football. Stop playing with the rules. It's the game. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
If the guys don't have the right mindset, if they're tough enough, and they can't stand the contact, get them out the game. There's somebody else who can. There's somebody else who's willing to get in there and stand and take that contact. There's somebody else who's willing to get in there and take that hit. If that guy's not willing to get in there, get him out. Get somebody else in there. That's just some old school logic, fans. Some old school logic. That's my philosophy on that. So I don't particularly care for the rule changes. I don't know. Your guy, Xavier Clowney. The Panthers, I know you missed him up in Seattle. The Panthers are going to sign up to a 2-year deal. The Rams are signing injury-prone Tre'Davious White to a contract. I think a 1-year deal. Cleveland, is it fair or foul that the NFL is scheduling days on Christmas Day? The scheduling football games on Christmas Day.
It's foul.
The NBA ratings were down 30% from prior year. The Christmas is on Wednesday this year. Is it fair or foul that
that's not even safe? That's not even safe.
Yeah, I question that too. Yeah, I question that. They're gonna have to have a bye the previous week. They have a bye, either the bye on the Sunday game. So 2 teams coming on, or the 4 teams will probably have 2 games, back-to-back games. Those 4 teams should be on a bye to make it fair. They should be on a bye that Sunday. And so at least they'll be fresh. You know what I'm saying? And they'll have to play. It'll suck for them because they're going to have to play that Sunday or Monday. That following Sunday or Monday, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, how does that even work? I mean, it's not even.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you.
It's not enough for us. We have even if you
I
have
agree
the
with
bye
you.
the week before. I mean,
If you have a bye the week before, but I mean, it's gonna be it's ugly. I mean, it's ugly. Or maybe that team will play on Thursday night. Maybe those teams, at least 2 of those teams will play on Thursday. So when they play on that Wednesday, I mean, they have at least 6 days in between. But then they're still gonna have to come back and play that following Sunday.
No, because then you get the Thursday and then you get the Sunday the following week. But
no, what I'm saying, if a team plays on Thursday and then they play Christmas Day Wednesday, they're still gonna have to play on Sunday.
No,
what do you mean?
I don't know. But that sounds horrible.
What do you mean? No, are they going to be on the
My,
bye?
my, thought, my thought would be that they would have a bye the week before the Wednesday game, and then the following week play the Thursday game. So you don't play Wednesday and then play again on Sunday.
Okay, now I see what you're saying. That would be fair, but we'll see what we have to keep an eye on what the NBA, what the NFL does. But I thought there was kind of a handshake agreement between NFL and the NBA. Like, okay,
I don't think the NFL really ever looked into it, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Huh, that is a lot of cheese out there just hanging on the vine." Okay,
let's do it, and then they just cannibalize the NBA.
Yeah.
What do you do if it what do you do in the NBA? Now you want to have primetime games. You want to have your 5 games there. Now do you put who do you put? Do you put the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Utah Jazz?
You still do it the same way. Otherwise, you have to take the whole schedule off because you're just intimidated by the NFL, right?
But I'm saying, do you put the Cleveland Cavaliers against the NFL? Cleveland Cavaliers and the Utah Jazz?
No, you put your best foot forward.
You still put you still put Miami Heat. Well, it's going to be Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors. At least two names up there, right? I mean, they're not the best.
Oh no, you still got to go Lakers, Knicks, Celtics, Warriors. I mean, you still got to go at it. Yeah,
that's cool. They just cannibalize the whole shit. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Each and every week we do a couple of things differently on this podcast than most other podcasts do. We have our number games to kick off the show. Then we have This Week in History segment, and then we end the show with a quote. So I'm gonna get into our This Week in History segment. This is a sports heavy segment, actually, Cleveland. Not as ominous as our one we had a couple weeks ago. Cleveland, March 26, 1872. Thomas Martin patented the fire extinguisher. March 27, 1917, Cleveland. I don't know if you remember this. The Seattle Metropolitans of the Pacific Coast League of Canada defeated the Montreal Canadiens to become the first U.S. hockey team to win the Stanley Cup. Now we got the Kraken. March 26, 1937, William Hastie confirmed as judge of federal district court in Virgin Islands, making him the first black federal judge. March 28th, 1968, a race riot in Memphis, Tennessee, interrupts a protest march led by Martin Luther King in support of striking sanitation workers. Bro, I went to Memphis. I've been to Memphis a few times since I've been down here in the South, and I still smell that the striking of the sanitation workers in Memphis, bro. I don't know if it's a Mississippi River or just sanitation workers. Some of that garbage that was left over. It was terrible. March 28, 1966, Bill Russell became the head coach of the Boston Celtics, making him the first African American coach to coach first African American to coach an NBA team. Cleveland, March 27, 1989, Sports Illustrated exposed Pete Rose gambling activities. The magazine article alleged Rose bet on baseball from the riverfront dugout using hand gestures with an associate. We're going to talk more about this gambling in baseball. Cleveland, March 27, 1991, Reverend Emmanuel Cleaver became the first African-American mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. March 27, 1994, Cleveland, Magic Johnson became head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. March 27, 1994. He coached the final 16 games in the 93-94 season. Cleveland, what do you remember as Magic Johnson as a head coach?
He didn't really like it very much.
Oh, that's funny. March 27, 2007, NFL owners voted 30-2 to make video replay system a permanent officiating tool. So instant replay became permanent in 2007. That sounds kind of late, right? 2007?
No, sounds about right.
All right, here we go, Cleveland. I know this is what you've been wanting to talk to all night long. I told you, fans, if you guys follow the show, thank you guys for following the Voice of the Fans podcast. We really appreciate it. Check out our work on voiceofthefans.org. I have a couple articles up there recently. One is posted about my thoughts on how gambling impacts sports recently. Cleveland, I'll post your article tomorrow about the weapons of mass destruction. You want to give the fans the feedback, a little snippet of what your article's on?
Yeah, Cameron. My article is on the lost art of the signature move of NBA players, and I have a list of what I think are the 7 greatest signature moves by NBA players of all time.
We'll talk about it. I got an argument on one of them, but we'll talk about that next week. It's our article. You guys can check it out. Check it out on voiceofthefans.org. You can check them out. Since we heard from since we heard from Shohei the other day, Cleveland, and he explains kind of gave us a timeline of what happened, how the dude lied to him. He lied to his representatives. I told you, he focuses on training. He has an elbow injury, guys. If I explained all of this on our Sunday special, if you guys follow us on Sunday, we also do a little Sunday special, just a quick shot of content for you guys. And I went in depth on our Sunday special most recently and explained to you that Shohei coming over from Japan, he wanted to be the very best baseball player that the world has seen, and he's pretty damn close. But that commitment and that commitment requires focus. He focuses on baseball. He has his apartment. He has his endorsements. He has his wife. But he needs, when he comes over, he relied on his interpreter to handle on paying the car bill, to paying his insurance, to paying the phone bill, to paying his apartment rent. He relied on his interpreter to handle all those business. His interpreter and his representatives to handle all of this for him. So he can just have a singular focus on baseball and become the best baseball player the world has seen. And he's done that, fans. He has done that. Everybody heard of the 5-tool player in baseball? Well, he's a 7-tool player in baseball. Okay? So unfortunately, he had to recover from the Tommy John surgery. He just had surgery. So he had to recover from that. So he can get back in. The Dodgers paid him $750 million, Cleveland? I think they paid him like $750 million. So he has to live up to that. A-Rod told you guys years ago when he just got $2.5 million. It's a lot of pressure to live up to those expectations. So Shohei trying to focus on baseball, focus on becoming the best baseball player he ever can be. It's a lot of pressure. He wants to live up to the money, the highest contract anybody in sports has ever gotten. He needs to live up to that. To live up to that, Cleveland, he has to focus on his sport. He can't be worried about all the other stuff, all the ancillary stuff that you and I have to worry about. Okay, so he has to go. He got his surgery taken care of. Now he has to work out and train. Eat, work out, sleep. Eat, work out, sleep. That's what his mindset has been. So if the dude, his interpreter, he's entrusted for all these years to handle his business, is robbing him, it's going to take a little time for him to realize that. And he's been lying to his representatives. So not only is he lying to him, he's lying him because he's not telling them the truth. He's lying to his interpreters. Then he lied to the Dodgers. So all this came to light when they was over there in Seoul. So would you guys get off my man's back? The start of the season is happening. He's on his way to becoming one of the few players to win a major league most valuable player. And he has 2 in the American League already. Now he's in the National League. He's trying to win a National League Most Valuable Player award. He's trying to be. I think Mookie Betts got one, right? Did Mookie Betts win in both leagues? I don't know, but he's trying to become one of the only players to have won in the American League and the National League Most Valuable Player. So can we get off? He explained. Dude lied to me. He lied to me and my representatives. He's out the door. He's bye-bye. He's gone bye-bye. He said the other day it was indescribable how he felt. How he felt when he found out that the guy was robbing him blind for the tune of $4.5 million. He said that was indescribable, Cleveland. I don't know if you heard what he said. There was almost a tear came down his eye from the Japanese. You know, I hate to generalize I don't hate to generalize, but you know those guys don't show a whole lot of emotion, right? There was almost a tear that came. His eyes start welling up when he was talking about this, Cleveland. Can we get off the man's back and play ball?
Cameron, I hope that Shohei confesses as soon as possible to make things as easy on himself as can be. And
he confessed the other day. He said he was lied to.
I hope Commissioner Manfred doesn't continue to try and hide the golden goose behind closed doors and manipulate the system, because they're coming. Federal Bureau of Investigation is coming. The forensic accountants are coming. Those dudes that work with the cell towers, they're coming. Yeah. Just get it out there right now. Just get in front of this thing.
Get in front of it. He did. He had it. So you're not buying anything he said in his press conference. Man, get off this man's case, man. Get off this man's case. He came up front and he was honest. Had a press conference. I think the press conference was like nearly 15 minutes long. It's him pouring his heart out to American media.
And like I was asking yourself, and I think a few other friends, why don't they just put the app, on the television, so it just runs like the caption at the bottom? Why does he even need an interpreter at this point? Technology is advanced to a point where he can just talk, and the system will translate for him.
So now he'll
leave that dude sitting there paraphrasing, and you already asked a question like, is he really saying the way that he's supposed to say he's saying it? Is he really interpreting verbatim word for word? You gotta ask some questions. Let's put the little thing at the bottom, man. You just talk and it'll just spit it out.
Man, so you're not believing, man. Shame on you. Shame on you.
You weren't believing it either. You already said you didn't believe it.
I believe wholeheartedly. He was passionate. I understand from the tone of his voice. Even though I don't understand Japanese, from the tone of his voice.
Already said, is he really saying what he's supposed to say?
Well, that's what interpreters in general.
Is he saying like he means it?
That's interpreters in general. So we're gonna see. We're gonna keep an eye on this story, fans. But you can read my article on voiceofthefans.org. What I think about gambling and how gambling has impacted sports. Cleveland, what's your thoughts on Kim Mulkey making a mountain out of a molehill? An article that even came out yet. What's your thoughts on Kim Mulkey?
She knows what's coming. She's trying to get in front of it. But again, she's doing the same thing. She's not being forthcoming. She's not being truthful. She's trying to discredit a journalist from the New York Post. I mean, that's one like the word. That's like, sorry, excuse me. Thank you. Washington Post, and that's probably like one of the worst worst ones that you can try and discredit. That's like the source of truth for so many things for so long. So it's like, you're already losing credibility trying to discredit someone from the Washington Post. So yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be ugly.
What's your thoughts on Ice Cube offering Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in the Big Three?
Man, I like his hustle, man. Switch it up a little bit. See what you can do, man. Shake it up. I mean,
is that a gimmick, or Ice Cube just trying to get is he clout chasing, or is he just trying to get his name out, get Big Three name out there? What do you think?
I mean, if it's a legitimate offer, I mean, it's got to be considered, right?
I mean, she'll have time before they go to the WNBA. Before they start their season, she would have time.
It would be shortly after her season, after the WNBA season, right?
No, if they play in the summertime, in the WNBA.
But doesn't the Big Three play in the summertime also? It's after that, right?
No,
I could be wrong.
No, the WNBA would be like it. She wouldn't have a really break. She'd be doing that Austin Reeves thing, like where she just keep playing basketball. She really wouldn't have a break, and then she wouldn't have to go overseas like some of them do.
So it would be WNBA and then Big Three.
Yeah, or
Okay.
Big Three and WNBA. I think Big Three.
Okay.
What impressed you most about the tournament, men's or women's? Like I watch more women's than I watch men's, but what impressed you most about the tournament?
I think Zach Edey truly imposing his will on the two teams that they played. If he's truly playing like that and kicking out, I was very confident that Connecticut was going to win the national championship going into it, kind of going away, but 7'4", 300 just turning on you, and you can't foul him because he can hit free throws. So, I mean, him at his highest and best use is the most dominant player in college basketball. So that was kind of, and he displayed it 2 games in a row. So
it took you 3.5 years for you to be impressed by Zach Edey. Is that what you're saying?
No, I've always seen what he was capable of doing, but he's never put it together like this to this extent against elite competition. So this is as best as I've seen him look against really good teams. And
okay, I actually didn't see any of Zach Edey over the weekend. What games are you looking forward to? Any specific games this weekend? I want to see more USC. I want to see LSU. I think they look beatable from the game I watched. West Virginia, I thought West Virginia. Yeah, that was home. The home games I thought was a little weird, but it makes sense because they can't get fans. They're not drawing fans like the men's teams, the men's games. But it was a little weird. I want to see more. I want to see more LSU. They look beatable. I want to see more USC. This is the first full game I saw. I didn't see. I haven't seen Juju. This is the first full game I watched of Juju. Couple games I watched of Juju. So I want to see more of her. I want to see Iowa. Iowa looked. They play West Virginia. They look beatable, except they got some foul calls. They start getting some whistles there. So what are you looking for? What games are you looking forward to seeing? You want to see more of Zach Edey? That's what you're looking forward to seeing this weekend?
I think that Duke Houston game is going to be really interesting. It's in Dallas, so we'll see how that plays itself out.
Yeah. Houston gonna have a fan base.
Yeah, and then North Carolina, Alabama. I don't really know what to make of that one.
Alabama scores. Yeah, that might be that's gonna be a high score game.
Yeah, Alabama's look good at their 2 games. I didn't think they were going to win either one of them. So and now here we come against North Carolina, who's played so, not particularly great, but that's an interesting game for me.
Okay. Are you more tuned into the men, or the women's this week?
Probably a little bit more tuned into the men. What I've noticed in my bracket, that's a good game also. Real good game. What I've noticed is that the women's bracket follows much more to seeding in the NBA. There's not really as many like Cinderella upsets. It's kind of, because I'm like way like what 70% in my women's bracket, like I think 40 or 50% in my men's bracket. So this is probably,
go ahead.
I'm saying that this is probably more the time that it kind of makes that switch. Up to this point, it had been more about the men's tournament, just because there was so much more unpredictability to it. But now you kind of get to where, you just have the true, blue buds of women's college basketball, and it's time to get down. Where are you at? South Carolina, where are you at? Stanford, where are you at? Iowa, where are you at?
Right there. South Carolina right there. I thought North Carolina was going to give them a run. They blew them out. That was South Carolina right there. Cleveland, we got boxing this weekend. with Rolly Romero versus Pitbull Cruz is an undercard, or the co-main event, I should say. And Tim Tszyu versus Fundora. The winner of this fight apparently is going to be fighting Terrence Crawford. Tim Tszyu says he's ready. Fundora. Again, Fundora is a stand-in for Keith Thurman, who bowed out of the fight. So this would be worth watching. As I mentioned, Fundora is a 6'5" guy who doesn't realize he's 6'5" and has the reach longer than anybody else. So that's gonna be a fight worth watching. So Saturday night, Prime Video pay-per-view, Rolly Romero versus Pitbull Cruz, Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. Gonna be a good fight. Did you hear Kendrick Lamar slash up Drake and J. Cole?
I heard that he did that. I haven't actually heard the bars, but I've heard that it is very vicious.
Yeah, go here. It's like that. Him and Future. Yeah, he chopped him up. I guess Bad Boys is they really bad. They were really bad boys, huh?
Cam, it is. I don't want to say that it's heartbreaking, but what I will say is that I will feel bad about my response to it, because when R. Kelly went through all of his stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to listen to R. Kelly no more.
Okay.
But Diddy and Bad Boy and just remixes alone have their hands in so much stuff. I just can't say I'm not listening to Bad Boy or Diddy music anymore.
Cleveland, and you only heard the remixes that went mainstream. There were so many remixes in the 90s that just stayed on the East Coast. That was just bananas.
Yeah, I've heard some of them too. Yeah,
there were just remixes like every weekend. There was a different remix to some. It was wild. It was like, I'm like, I mean, it was cool because I really appreciate the music and the artistry. But every single week there was a different remake, or there was a different take. Like just every song, a girl would come out with a song, and the guys would come out with a remix of the same song, just eating up the girls, and it was back and forth. The girls would come out, the guys, take just some of the best, the hottest songs out and remix them that way. It was fire on the East Coast. It was just the music. And again, I left Seattle at 19, so I was still trying to have every music on the block before somebody else had it. And then it wasn't much different when I moved to the East Coast, but it was just different. And then I was just hoarding West Coast music because obviously I couldn't hear all the West Coast because I was on the East Coast. But it was a different time. But yeah, the art, like, I can separate the art from the person. I mean, I still think
you used to listen to R. Kelly then.
Well, I wasn't a huge fan of R. Kelly. I was not a huge fan of R. Kelly until I Believe I Can Fly. Then I was like, okay, this kid, he's really doing something. But I don't listen to R. Kelly. I never bought an R. Kelly CD. And no, I'm not putting on Pandora R. Kelly. But I can't separate the art from the person, because I still think the Cosby Show is the best show ever on TV to ever make TV.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, nah. I had to pull Cosby Show. I had to pull Fat Albert.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Uptown Saturday Night.
The thing about Bill is Bill Cleveland. Bill was doing this thing well before you and I heard of Bill Cosby. He had the joke. He had it live on tape in 1969. Like, that was kind of the weird thing that he said what he was doing on tape in 1969. I don't know if you heard that line. The guy who and again, this is before you and our time. The guy he did the I Spy with,
Robert
so
Cole.
he's on stage. He's telling a joke, and I'll try to do it real quick. He told the joke. I don't remember the guy's name, but he asked him like, when we finish shooting, what are you gonna go do? And this is his skit. He's on stage telling the joke. He says, he asked him dude, what are you gonna do when you go on vacation? Once we finish the shoot, what are you gonna do? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Mexico. He said, why are you going to Mexico? He says, I'm going to get the, damn it, how am I having a brain fart? What's the shit you put in the drink? Damn it. I done fucked up the joke. The Mexican, what's the Mexican little thing you put in the drink? Damn it, I done fucked up the joke, fans. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't know what you're talking about, but I can't think of
You
it.
know exactly what I'm talking. The Spanish fly. Thank you, Boots. Thank you. I'm going to Mexico to get the Spanish fly. He said, you know what they do with the Spanish fly, right? He said, no. He's talking to the dude. He said, no, I don't know what they do with the Spanish fly. He said, when you go buy the lady a drink, you put the Spanish fly in the drink, and then she's yours all night. She'll know the difference. He did that joke back in 1969 on tape. Like literally on tape. It was a recorded tape, audio.
Okay, but what does that have to do with still watching?
That's the same shit he was doing so he's been doing it since 1969 all the way through the 70s.
So he's always been like that. Okay,
that's my point. He's always been doing that. However, that doesn't.
Before we didn't know. Or didn't put two and two together, but after we did,
two together,
and the
so that still doesn't
came out and said that he did that to him.
That didn't take away from that Cosby Show being the best show on television.
It tarnishes it significantly. Yeah.
I don't think so.
I
disagree.
No, not
that Cosby Show is still the best show.
Deductible, that person actually drugging like 60 women and raping them.
Again, I'm not looking at that aspect of it. I'm separating the art. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I can separate the art.
I get that
from what he's from.
I hear what you're saying. There are some things I can't separate.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. The person, I mean, obviously, I'm not rocking with that guy, but the art of what he did, that's still by far the best show on television. Okay. Now, I can say, was Diddy the best producer of music? There was a time when he arguably was
hottest. Sure.
Would can I not listen to Biggie Small anymore because Diddy produced him? That's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Typically, I'm able to say, that what that person did was so terrible that I just boycott. But that's just my personal fit.
Yeah. So you're not listening. So Biggie Small, Mace.
That's what I said. I said
flavor in your ear.
That's how I started.
Flavor in your ear. You can't listen to any of that.
I started the conversation. I said, in this particular instance, I'm not going to be able to boycott all of Bad Boy and Diddy music.
So how is that different than Bill Cosby?
Because I feel terrible about this one. Usually, I would be like, no, that what happened. I'm not cool with what he did. I'm not cool with that, and I'm just not going to be about that. But
I just can't look.
He is so entrenched, in the culture, and a little bit of everything.
It's not only women, Boots. It's not only women, and I just question some of these guys that.
He's talking about
Cosby. You talking about Cosby? You talking about Bill? You talking about Bill, Boots? Because it's not only women. I mean, Diddy hung his star hung over the industry big time. So that's interesting. Cleveland, before we get out of here, man, give us a Mariner Minute. It's time for the Mariner Minute. Fans is coming back. What's your prediction for the M's this season? I think you said somewhere around 500, or they're going to get their 54% wins this year.
I think 81-81 would be a realistic expectation.
Oh my goodness, not at 500. Them bums. You still don't want to send them to Portland?
With the caveat being that at the latest report, they do have 3 of the top 20 pitchers in baseball, starting pitchers.
Well, I read somewhere where they got 7 pitchers and they can't decide who to use. They're gonna have a decision.
No, they had that problem last year, but they traded away all their depth. So, and they've already started the season with one of their starters on the IL. So, already bringing a guy up from AAA to make his first start.
So you're looking at 500 season, another mediocre season from that team and playing in T-Mobile Stadium, and they're just wasting that good stadium away. Is that basically what I'm hearing from you?
That is my initial prognostication, unless I see something a little bit different. Maybe some of these, makeshift solutions to their offensive issues actually work. But
I'm going to hold you to that, Boots. I'm going to hold you to that. You got another losing season, huh?
No, that's a good season. 84.
84, 85. That's a losing season.
No, they only play 162 games, bro.
84, 85 wins. Okay. I thought it was okay.
So 84 and 58 or 85 and 67.
Well, we'll see. I'm gonna hold you to that, Boots. 84 wins for the Cubs, 85 wins for the Cubs. Who you got in the World Series, Boots? Cleveland, who you got in the World Series? You said the Dodgers and the Rangers. Now, since you're trying to bench Shohei, does that change your prediction?
No, they still have the most talented team. Did I say the Dodgers and the Rangers? I don't remember saying the Rangers per se.
You said they won it last year. They repeat.
I don't think I said that.
Okay, who do you got? Who are you saying?
But don't know who would be aside from them. Obviously, I don't. No one in the American League East is all that great. The Yankees aren't all that great. Nobody in the Central is all that great.
Thanks for making a pick, Boots. This guy is him and Han all over the place. You hear him? You hear him, Boots? Him and Han. He can't. He can't. The Orioles. The Orioles with the new owner. They're gonna make the World Series.
Yeah, they were pretty good last year. I would say probably maybe the Astros. Well, I don't know. Hard to say. I can't really commit right this very second.
I mean, the season is opening day. When are you going to commit? Boots, thanks for making a pick, Boots. Appreciate you.
Game 2, game 3. Let me get a little sample size.
Oh my goodness gracious! You hear this guy? Let me get a sample size. Well, fans, again, we went through a lot today. We hope Shohei is okay. I wish Cleveland would get off his back.
Well, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is gonna find out for sure. So, just how okay he is.
Fans, I want to. We end the show again. We play our numbers game at the beginning of the show. We play our This Week in History segment, and then I want to end the show with this quote from Mr. Thomas Jefferson. And no, thank you, Boots, for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast, man. Give yourself a round of applause give yourself a round of applause for hanging with us, all of you fans. Give Cleveland a round of applause for being with us, sticking with us. Sorry, I didn't mean to beat up Cleveland this month. I got to give him another round of applause because he was getting pretty hurt, especially when I called out who has the most in-season or play-in tournament wins. He didn't like that very much as well. So, Cleveland, I'll give you a round of applause for that, sticking with us. Here's the quote I'm going to end the show with tonight, fans, is honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. That's Thomas Jefferson, fans. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Fans, just be honest with you, yourself, what you want to do, what you're happy with, what you accept, what you won't accept. Be honest about everything within your life, fans. And that's the first chapter in the book of wisdom. Help you be a smarter, wiser person. Again, fans, I want to thank you for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Get all of our gems, all of our knowledge. You can find our content on voiceofthefans.org. Each and every week we have our podcasts are up there, Sunday specials up there as well as our articles. So please go check it out, voiceofthefans.org. Please tune in. Cleveland, thank you for your time. As always, fans, I want to thank you for making our voice your choice.